225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, green. That's green. Enter it now.
You got to get in to win. Go to ESPNAVL.com, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. Join us in the chat. Today it is
Overreaction Monday.
After a wild card round that, well, it wasn't that wild.
No, there was. You know what was wild about it? That we just kept watching it. Like, hey, do it to me again. Give me another Bo Nix and Jordan Love and mediocre quarterback who's just gonna get their face pushed.
It's the is the college football playoff.
I can't wait for somebody to say, the committee got it wrong. We should have had Cincinnati in.
Right.
Oh, wait. No, this year in football, this is just what happens. We have have-as and have-as-nots.
And the Denver Broncos are one of those that are the have-as-nots.
He have-as-not.
As they got killed by the Buffalo Bills yesterday. Most exciting game of the weekend was my game, and didn't go my way. Thanks, Baker. Continuing to just lose. Just lose, baby. I tried to tell you. It was coming. All of the Tampa Bay fans that were on me on social media about, oh, you just hate Baker Mayfield.
Nope. No, I know what he is, and you don't seem to want to face it.
I don't hate him. I mean, I think I think there's some very good positives to Baker Mayfield.
I hate him. I genuinely despise him.
No, I have grown to like him as a player, as a guy, but you can't just close your eyes to what's going to happen in the end. It always ends the same way. Baker's going to make that decision that loses you football games.
Yeah, last night I finally have a perfect explanation for why I hate Baker Mayfield as badly as I do.
Okay. Chris
Collinsworth waxing poetic. Hey, he's a guy, man, he's an agitator. That's why he's an agitator. I'm going to say agitator so many times. Chris, buddy, agitator is the thing in your washing machine. Stop doing that immediately. It was annoying the second time he did it, and then he took a breath and did it 200 more times.
The agitator.
Last night was a perfect example of what it is about Baker Mayfield that I have always tried to tell you. He tries to win by being the gritty guy. I'm gritty. We're not doing squat on offense, so I'm going to take off and run right at Bobby Wagner. Yeah, that was a great idea. Except you incited a guy that's twice your size. And so when little football went on the ground, you had already upset him. Trust me, he would have wound up with it anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But did you notice that Bobby Wagner went, my ball, and just ripped it away from him? That's what happens when you're the agitator, man. He's an agitator. Yeah, guys really take joy out of hitting you routinely.
Yep.
It's not a benefit. Being the annoying guy is not a benefit to anybody. We all hate you. Like, Baker Mayfield is one of those guys. You're either a Buccaneer fan, you're a little feller, or you hate Baker Mayfield. There is no in between. I've never met a person that is a fan of the New Orleans Saints or the Philadelphia Eagles or anybody like that goes, you know what? I like that guy. No, he's an irk. And it's really funny for people like me to sit back and go, that's exactly what I told you. Mm-hmm. There is nothing because last night, Washington did nothing to beat you. Nothing. The Washington Commanders did nothing to win that game. Precisely. Marshawn Lattimore, your big acquisition to stop Mike Evans, Mike Evans drug him down the sidewalk every single time he was lined up on him. Mm-hmm. Didn't work. Jaden Daniels and his ability to run, he didn't really do that much last night. Although I do find it funny that when they really needed one, that's when Cliff Kingsbury went, I got it.
Got it.
I learned after 4 quarters. I finally got it.
Yep.
Go and do it right here. My wife was so tired of hearing me go, how do you just zone read it? You're running directly into Vita Vea. Why do you think that's going to work? It hasn't worked the first 17 times you've done it. Why would it work number 18?
Yep.
But then.
And in the end, what that game came down to was, first off, Baker Mayfield making the bonehead play. That was fumble number 14 on the season.
Yeah.
Thanks, guy.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. That turns the table. You give them the ball at the 13-yard line. They go in and score. Yes, you came back to tie it up, but good God. I mean, you had the ball 2 shots at the 13, 14-yard line, trying to get a first down. Couldn't get it. Had to settle for the field goal.
Baker Mayfield last night was 15-18, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Terrible. Awful.
There's nothing awful about what I just said. He was 15 of 18, 185 yards. You didn't have the ball. You know why you didn't have the ball? Because your defense sucks on ice. Awful. Genuinely hard to watch, and I hate this team. It was hard for me to watch. Just go. I think Jaden Daniels could throw it to Terry McLaurin 70 times in this game, and he's going to complete 67 of them. Because you have no answer. You didn't belong here. You never belonged here. The Seattle Seahawks would have beaten you the same way that the Washington Commanders did, because you find a way to beat yourself. This is my problem with mediocre quarterbacks. You have absolutely no margin for error. And I'm going to need you to – I'm not going to say this is Sesame Street, but margin for error would be the Pee Wee Herman word of the day, because that's going to be a theme. You're going to hear me say that about the 5 games that we've already seen. You're going to hear me say that margin for error thing a lot, because Jaden Daniels had it. Jaden Daniels couldn't score in the red zone. Got to the red zone routinely, kick field goals. Didn't matter. Didn't matter, because when the time comes up, he made the play. Jaden did not have a particularly good game last night. He led that team. He avoided making the big mistake. And they left a lot of points on the board. Because Dan Campbell was, Dan Campbell, that was Freudian slip. Dan Quinn was doing his best Dan Campbell impersonation of, we're just going for it. You know why? Because I'm not scared of you.
No, because I don't respect that defense.
I'm not scared of you at all. You have one gigantic dude in the middle of that defense. You've got one geriatric and Levante David who is way faster than I thought he was.
He's still a dog.
He's a very good player. I didn't think he had that kind of speed in him. At a straight apples to apples, dead set start with Jaden Daniels, I never thought you would keep up with him. And he didn't either.
Right.
But Jaden Daniels did just enough to win. Baker Mayfield needed to be perfect because he's a mediocre quarterback. At the end of the day, the difference between all of these guys is just not that much. If you take Baker Mayfield and put him with the Green Bay Packers, does anything change yesterday?
No.
Nope. If you put Jordan Love with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, does anything change?
Nope.
Nope. If Bo Nix is the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, does anything change? No, it doesn't. Because you've got too many quarterbacks that are elite. There are very obvious ones. Pat Mahomes is elite. Josh Allen's elite. Lamar Jackson's elite. Those guys, we know what they are. Then you have this second tier of young guys that I can't quite put my thumb on yet. Jaden Daniels is on the high side of it. Jaden Daniels is an MVP caliber quarterback at 22 years old. He's already there. He has done what Baker Mayfield couldn't do in 8 years. You've never once been that guy. I don't care how much you like him. I get that you're 5'7" and you look at him and go, hey, he proves that I could have played in the NFL because he's a little feller too. And look at him do all those things. He is a bum. Period. I have given you everything you could possibly want. How many teams in the NFL ran the ball this year better than Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Like 2.
Zero. It's zero.
It's zero?
It's zero. You had the best running game in the NFL. You have a Hall of Fame wide receiver. You've actually nailed 3 of these young pass catchers, and you still can't win. If you have to be propped up to this point, you're just a guy. You're a JAG. Just like me.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We have a super chat here from the one and only Patrick Holt.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Using that member super chat for how about them communists? Let's go.
No, they're commanders, not communists. We've been over this.
The commies were victorious last night. Congratulations on that. It is not a surprise. It's not a surprise at all. Jeremy asked me yesterday as we were doing our live reactions to the Eagles-Packers game, are you going to feel any certain way after this? No.
No, and I'll bet you're rooting for
No, because even if we had won, congratulations, now we get to go get stomped by Saquon Barkley next week.
Yes. And if somehow you got through that, you get to take on that team in Detroit that you've already played once, and they mushed your face, but they couldn't score.
Right, exactly. So I didn't have any hopes that this was going anywhere. Would you? The ending was quite perfect. There are two things about this organization that I have hated for 2 solid years.
Todd Bowles.
One is Todd Bowles.
Baker Mayfield.
And he ain't done nothing to make me unhate him, especially after how this season ended. And number 2 is Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those guys will forever hold back a talented team. And nobody should be surprised by it.
No.
Nobody should be surprised by it.
It was good.
Yeah.
I
but congratulations to the Commanders. Now I want to see. Now I want to see you. Now I want to see you win. I want to see you go upset the apple cart against Philadelphia next week.
I'm also curious. Are you now pulling for the winner of Lions Commanders to win it?
Or excuse me. Now they're going to the Lions. Oh,
yes.
Good Lord.
Are you now pulling for the winner of Lions Commanders to win it all?
I would be regardless. Detroit has been my favorite all year long. That's who I want to see win the Super Bowl. My other philosophy is always I want to see the team that beat us win it. So there's really no lose next week. If Washington pulls off the upset, I will be supremely shocked, number one. But I will not be upset.
Cantankerous, we have breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
This is from Adam Schefter. Mike McCarthy is not expected to return to Dallas and is now set to become a free agent.
Wow.
The two sides engaged in no discussions about a new deal, and McCarthy is expected to be a candidate in Chicago and New Orleans and New York. He didn't say New York. I added that one.
Oh.
He will be interviewed by the New York Jets. I'll bet you anything you want.
100%.
Because they were obsessed with him a few years ago when he took the Dallas job.
And you have his former quarterback.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about that. The possibility of reuniting McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers, I thought we were going to stop doing this thing with people that have had dinner with Aaron Rodgers.
Right. How many more friends are you going to bring in to help him make us or keep us a loser?
Can I ask just a very simple question?
Yes.
Does Jerry Jones have a large wager against himself?
Why?
You realize how stupid what he's done here is, right?
What, letting Mike McCarthy go?
Well, no. If you wanted to let Mike McCarthy go, I don't really care. That's up to you. This is a bad coaching market. But if you wanted to let Mike McCarthy go and you had fired him last Monday, okay. You let the entire league get an 8-day head start on you.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You engaged in no talks with him. It would be one thing if you talked to him and he wanted too much money or he wanted too much control. You didn't talk to him at all and just said, you know what? Slow and steady wins the race. We'll start next week. It'll be fine.
Because I'm the Dallas Cowboys and I can start on my own time. That's probably the thought of it doesn't matter what everybody else's timeline is. I'm the Dallas Cowboys and everyone is at my whim, right? Everyone moves by my clock.
Is there a candidate that you look at and go, that Dallas job is going to be really intriguing to them? Because I have two, and neither one of them should make you feel hunky-dunky.
No, I would feel like Kellen would be interested.
Kellen Moore was one of the two.
Um,
Oh, come on. This ain't that hard.
who am I missing?
Deion Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
Deion wanted the Raiders job. By the way, if you watched our live streams, I never was able to update that Deion Sanders story. Yes, Deion was interested in the Las Vegas Raiders. They had less than zero interest in him.
Oh, good.
That was the exact phrasing that I got.
Good.
I mean, had less than zero interest
That's
in him.
a positive check mark for that organization in my book. Because I could have swore, I said on this here program, that sounds the most Las Vegas Raidery thing on the planet.
You know
now,
what else
I do
sounds?
also believe at one point I did say it would not surprise me to see Jerry Jones bring
There
in
it
Deion
is.
Sanders.
Tell me that's not the most Dallas Cowboy thing you've ever heard.
It is.
He loves Deion. Deion is a spectacle. And now you bring Deion back to the Dallas Cowboys. That's the only thing that makes it making sense. Because the only way that you didn't completely, just unabashedly screw this up is if the candidate you want is a guy that you know nobody else is interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I started hearing this about Mike McCarthy this morning. It's just officially official now that they're not going to be able to hash out a contract in 12 hours. It's the only thing that I can make sense.
Wow.
Kellen Moore has interest around the league.
Mm-hmm. Deion would be interested.
For sure, Deion would be interested. His kids are both gone at Colorado. Travis Hunter's gone. He's got to be looking around going, Caden, I couldn't win with the top two picks in the draft. What do you think is going to happen now with Caden Salter? Don't think it's going to be awesome.
No, probably not.
For me, that would be the funniest thing ever. A, because I think Deion Sanders would be an absolutely horrifically terrible NFL coach. Mm-hmm. B, because watching the mass exodus from Colorado would be unbelievable. They wouldn't have a player left. Every guy on that team would go, out. I'm out. I'm only here for Deion.
Yep.
I didn't even hide it.
Right. You know, it would be so unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
If I hadn't said all of this at some point.
Yep.
Of none of this will surprise me. Everybody tried to convince me when Deion was at Jackson State that, oh no, he's doing this for the right reasons, right? He's building up the HBCUs, which he did accomplish, but he immediately bolted town when a bigger option came.
Cashed in the minute it was good for him.
Gets into Colorado, has all of the the NIL stuff and the national spotlight, and he's on every morning show, and now no Shador, no more draw,
and don't.
Here we go to the NFL to dupe Jerry Jones.
And don't kid yourself. Deion Sanders left Jackson State when it benefited him.
Yes.
For a place that didn't even really make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado has virtually no money. They had to scrape the coffers together for the 2 years that he did have. Now he doesn't have his kid, his other kid, or his adopted kid. And you're telling me he's not going to be loudly interested in the Dallas Cowboys. I got a bridge to sell you. Now, am I sure that Jerry's interested in him? No. But would it not be the most Jerry Jones thing you've ever heard? Somebody he's really comfortable with. Mm-hmm. Somebody he really feels like he can sell as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Who better than to keep it in the family? This whole keep it in the family thing, I used to love it. Right? I'm born and bred a Tar Heel. Right? You keep it in the family.
I've always thought it was stupid.
I mean, it's hard not to believe it now.
I've always thought it was stupid.
It's hard not to believe it now after you see it. You see it work once. And you're like, okay, this is pretty awesome. You see it work twice, and then you get convinced that it always works.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't.
And it doesn't.
It doesn't.
I mean, you look at Belichick's left New England. Mm-hmm. Gerard Mayo takes over. Mm-hmm. Within a year, they fired him for, another former player in Mike Vrabel.
I feel like that's a perfect transition into what we're going to talk about in the next segment.
Okay. It's just family thing. Don't tend to work out too well these days. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Kevin Hart here for DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We are here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4VICTIMS.
When you get tired of freezing your can at the tailgate, maybe it's time to ring in a new season. Tailgating season. Wherever you are, whatever the forecast, with good old ale, it's the perfect way to kick off game day. From Red Cup revelry to just kicking it solo, you can't go wrong with Dale's Pale Ale, Dale's Light Lager, and Dale's Easy IPA. Honest ingredients, no BS. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you at the Tailgate.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, live in the Ingles studio. And wild card weekend, we had only one upset so far. We have one more to go tonight.
Wasn't really an upset.
Well, I mean, it was a 6 seed over a 3 seed. So, I mean, technically by the seedings, it was an upset.
Yeah,
so
they had 2 more wins than you did. So you shouldn't have been a 3. Frankly, that game should have been in Washington if we did this in a way that made any form of sense.
Well, we don't, and that means Washington
we're talking about
is the lower seed, and they go on to play the Detroit Lions.
But we're talking about doing it the right way. That came out over the weekend. The playoff seeding will be discussed in the offseason, as well it should be.
Oh, good. Finally. They're still going to give an automatic bid to the division winners, but you should not be getting a home game.
Fact. A team that went 12-5 is on the road against a team that went 10-7. That make sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, they won their division. Their division sucked.
Who cares?
Who cares? Washington had to play Philadelphia twice.
Mm-hmm.
What did Tampa Bay have to do? They played the Saints twice. Awesome.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right, going to the Super Chats in the YouTube comments.
Read them in reverse, because I want to talk about the third one.
Matthew Hoffman says Todd Bowles' face is permanently stuck squinting.
It's the who farted face.
Yeah.
That's what he does at all times. That does not.
I don't know.
I do not like that.
I don't like anything that's happening right now.
Who did that? So I need to talk to you. Need to give you a stern talking to about evacuating yourself in my presence.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Red Sea, the Cardinals fan, says he can't wait to see his Cowboys fan coworker today.
Oh, that guy's sad. That guy's sad and doesn't. The bad thing for the Cowboys is that they're sad and they don't even know why they're sad. Like, oh, we didn't bring back Mike McCarthy. But, Dave, you didn't want to bring McCarthy back 2 weeks ago. Yeah, but then they said we were going to, and it just feels like a Jerry Jones loss.
Right.
Yep, I can't disagree with anything you just said. I'm just saying you probably shouldn't be sad about it.
Well, see, the worst part about it is you weren't really happy, or you may not have been happy with Mike McCarthy as your head coach, but now you have to be terrified of where this goes. Because if Dion's a possible option, which I don't think many of us would be surprised if that did happen.
I'll be shocked if he does an interview, at the very least.
I agree. But the thought that could happen is what makes every Dallas Cowboys fan sad right now. Of, oh, dear God, where could this go? At least I knew I had, solid mediocrity with Mike McCarthy. On the other hand, we could end up having, I don't know, the next Mike Pettin.
Your Mike Pettin derision is comical to me.
I mean, he wasn't very good.
He was a good defensive coach. He wasn't
a good head coach.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care. I want somebody that can win. And I knew at least with maybe a healthy roster, Mike McCarthy could win more than whoever the hell you're getting ready to bring in here.
You are probably getting ready to end a great hex for the Dallas Cowboys. Can you name me the last Dallas Cowboy head coach that left Dallas and was hired as a head coach somewhere else?
Ooh.
And I'm not just talking in the NFL. Can you name me the last one that was hired, period?
No. I don't believe I can.
It's Jimmy Johnson.
That's it. Wow.
Barry Switzer never got another job.
Nope.
Chan Gailey never got another head coaching job. He was a coordinator for a couple teams, including mine, because, well, sadness. Dave Campo. Bill Parcells ended his career with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Wade Phillips.
Yep.
Well, he's an XFL coach. If that's what you, if that's your high water mark, and Jason Garrett,
who's on TV now.
Mm-hmm. That is bad. That's almost like when you go through like 7 girlfriends in a row, and then they stay single for 5 years after you, and you go, oh, bother. That's not good. My selection process is probably not as stringent as it should be.
Mm-hmm. Mike McCarthy, where do you think he ends up? You think he's going to Chicago?
I do. It's just been too loud the whole time. Every time I've mentioned Mike McCarthy's name, Chicago is immediately following it.
Right.
Plus, I look around and go, Ben Johnson's not taking the job. I know you want him to. He's not going to.
Not for all of the tea in China. I would not be doing that as my first job. But there again, you got to take your first job somewhere, and the spots are filling up. Well, the one that I like the best in New England, that one's filled.
I still struggle to believe that's the best job on the market because I don't. We've got 2 more super chats that steer into the same thing.
Okay.
So I want to do those after the break because I want to give both of those enough time because one of them is about a team that played, and it's something that really needs to be discussed.
All right, you're in the Sportsocracy?
But what we teased before the break was Mike Vrabel.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear your feelings on Mike Vrabel. What do you think this does? Because I have a funny feeling you and I are going to vehemently disagree on this.
What I think it does?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it just I think it gives you another step down the Belichick tree.
Grade the hire.
And I don't know that. I mean, it's a C.
I did not think we were going to agree on this, but
I mean, it's quite
I'll
average.
be dadgummed if we don't.
I mean, it's quite the average swing, right? You're swinging for singles instead of home runs here.
I feel like I have it on good authority that Mike Vrabel was very conflicted between the Raiders and the Panthers. Or okay. the Raiders and the Patriots, excuse me. I don't know what Bob Kraft said or what Tom didn't say. I don't know. But something changed between Friday night and sometime Saturday. Mm-hmm. I don't think this is the home run everybody's making it out to be. Oh, he played there. You ever look at the history of guys that coached in a place after they played there? It's not particularly good, and there's a reason for that, because you're hearkening back to days gone by. And I've never seen Mike Vrabel do what New England needs done. Because the reason this job was so attractive was what?
Drake
May, 1, 2, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
You have defensive pieces. You just hired a defensive guy who is likely, according to reports, going to bring in Josh McDaniels as his offense coordinator. Am I the only one that realizes Josh McDaniels has never actually developed a quarterback in his entire life?
Mm-hmm.
It's never happened one time. But he was good with Tom. Tom would have been good with me as his offensive coordinator, or Tank, or that little dummy sitting behind your head right now. It didn't really matter. But anytime Josh McDaniels has been affiliated with another quarterback, disaster. Jimmy Garoppolo, disaster. Every guy he had with the Rams, Sam Bradford, on and on and on, because he had several.
Mm-hmm.
They were all disasters. I don't think this is the positive everybody's making it out to be.
It's the safe choice. And that's why everybody likes it.
It's the safe choice because he's the safe candidate.
Mm-hmm.
I would also be remiss if I didn't point out Mike Vrabel had 2 really good years when Arthur Smith's offense looked really competent. Outside of that, he's never been above average.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he did that with Ryan Tannehill, which he does deserve credit for. But you got to pass the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, and they're not going anywhere for a long time. It didn't send me in any way.
Yeah.
I see it. I get it. It made sense. It always made sense. But then you dig down deep into it and go, no, it doesn't really make sense, because I needed an offensive guy that could develop an offensive system that was going to get New England out of the Stone Age, because they just spent another year doing this. And I guess my question is, if this is who you wanted, why did you not do it last year? He was free when you hired Gerard Mayo.
Mm-hmm.
So you just wasted a year for no reason.
Well, because you gave him your word. It was in Gerard Mayo's contract.
I don't care about my word. I don't care about my word, but the coach and waiting, those things have been broken before. If you were as conflicted as what I've heard over the last 48 hours, you're all morons.
Yeah.
That you're sitting here going, we should be hiring Mike Vrabel. Well, we told Gerard Mayo. I don't care what you told Gerard Mayo. I don't care if you told Gerard Mayo you could fly.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make it so. It also doesn't make it the right decision.
No.
And so you just wasted a year of a pretty good quarterback on a rookie deal because you gave somebody your word. Well, maybe you should stop doing that. Nobody else in the NFL does it. Why do you?
Right. They wanted to see if Gerard could handle it. And in 1 year, and less than a year, he proved that he couldn't. Or at least he couldn't do it to their standards. I think they were really surprised that Vrabel didn't catch on anywhere else.
Well, that makes it even dumber.
So when he was still an option this year, they went, I don't.
That makes it. If what you just said is true, that's even dumber than what I just said. We believe in him so much, and he's such a great coach that we're shocked nobody else hired him.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, I go back to them. Why did you not hire him a year ago?
that I can't answer, other than the fact that Robert Kraft had given his word to Gerard Mayo, and that was the only thing tying him to that decision was I can't break my word, and he may be the guy, but I gave it to him. He had a year. Maybe it wasn't fair to only give him a year, but in that year he looked so incapable of living up to the standard that I have for the head coaching position I had no choice but to move on when I saw that one of my top options from last year was still available.
I get it that everybody that Bob Kraft for 20 years was the benchmark of ownership in the NFL. I get it. I would be remiss if I didn't point out a lot of you don't want to seem to give Bill Belichick any credit in that, but you give Bob Kraft a complete pass. Since Tom Brady left this organization, he's been he's not the best. Not just, he's not one of the top 5. He's been a straight-up bad NFL owner for the last handful of years. This is one of the top 5 dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. You just wasted a year on a guy that you very obviously didn't believe in. You can give me all the nonsense that you want. Mm-hmm. No Smiles in the YouTube comment said, Bob wants a family. Just run the business and stop clinging to nostalgia. Well, that's exactly what he just did, and he replaced it with nostalgia because this hire doesn't make any sense either. Mm-hmm. This is a guy that never really had good offenses outside of that 2-year window in 6. Let me ask you a question. If you were married to your wife for 6 years and she didn't cheat on you for 2 and she did cheat on you for 4, are you still married at the end of that?
No.
No. Because she's shown you who she is. Mike Vrabel's shown you who he is. He wants to run the ball and play good defense. That's exactly what you just got rid of with Bill Belichick and Gerard Mayo. It doesn't make any sense. This is like some figment of people's imaginations. I had somebody come to me over, a week ago and say that, why are we just chalking up Mike Vrabel such a good candidate? And I didn't really think about it at first, but then I went down the rabbit hole and went, no, you're probably right. I hadn't thought of it that way, but you got a point.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Overreaction Monday rolls on next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After a dry start to this week, some showers may move in heading from Friday night and to the start of the weekend. In the meantime, a clearing trend will take place this afternoon with a high of 43 and then turning cloudy overnight and breezy with a low down to 18. Behind a cold front on Tuesday, some sunshine with gusty winds at times out of the northwest at a high near 39. Partly cloudy tomorrow night as the low dips into the mid to upper teens. And the outlook for Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 36. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services.
Fire, flood, wind damage, arguably a homeowner's worst nightmare. For nearly 4 decades, First Restoration Services has been helping people recover from disasters with trust, integrity, speed, and quality. If you have a disaster, call them today, 1-800-537-6151, or online at FRS247.com.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Right now, during Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
We're starting 2025 with insanely clean carpets from Zero Res. Call to get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119. And when you mention ESPN Asheville, you'll get a hallway clean for free. Schedule online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
It's the new year. Time to make a positive change in your life.
I went to My Computer Career because I needed job security.
Because I wanted a career in cybersecurity.
I went to My Computer Career because IT jobs are everywhere.
My old job was going nowhere.
I went because I didn't want college loans for the rest of my life.
Because I wanted a career for the rest of my life.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid available for qualified students, including the GI Bill. 529 college savings plans accepted. Not available in Washington State.
As the wildfires continue to impact Los Angeles, families are facing unimaginable loss. And when disaster strikes, we come together. That's why iHeartLA has teamed up to help support the Dream Center, a local LA organization working tirelessly to provide relief, from operating shelters to supplying essentials to those who've lost everything. So please, join us in supporting the Dream Center's efforts to help rebuild the lives of thousands who have been affected by these devastating fires. Visit dreamcenter.org today to donate. That's dreamcenter.org.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Just visit ingalls-markets.com. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
And we are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. And the Philadelphia Eagles game was so enthralling that A.J. Brown was reading a book on the sidelines. A lot of attention given to A.J. Brown with his learning, his self-motivation on the sidelines last night. Everybody just so quick to jump to their theories. Do you have a theory on that? Is he discontented? Is that why he's reading inspirational passages on the sideline, Jeremy?
I tie this back to your goober of a head coach. I mean, this is a Nick Sirianni problem. You have a guy reading a book on the sideline. Yeah, I have a gigantic problem with it. I don't care why he's doing it.
Right. So the fact that he uses that to refocus his brain, as he told the media after the game last night, that's not on the sideline.
Hey, maybe refocus your brain by grabbing a tablet, Brooke, because your quarterback needs a little assistance because he's not very good.
It's a better usage of your timeline, or of your time when you're on the sidelines. Stop clearing your head with Stuart Smalley references and get a tablet.
Yeah, maybe go learn a play. Maybe go learn a little tape.
A.J. Brown apparently just shocked that everybody's so enthralled with the guy who likes to read. He was like, that's the only reason I did. I mean, he says he generally has a book on the sidelines. It's weird that this is the first time it's ever
seen it before, and there's always a camera on you.
Right, and he spent how many years in Tennessee? Did we ever see him with a book on the Tennessee sideline? I don't recall that, ever. Maybe this is the first time. He was reading a book that is soon to, I'm sure, jump to the top of the bestseller list, Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy. It is a self-help, inspirational, train your mind, how to be successful kind of thing.
Patrick Holt said that book is now the #1 seller on Amazon this
Of course
morning.
it is.
Shannon Sharp said he was reading it to calm down as to not flip out on Sirianni.
That could be it.
Well, I mean, Shannon Sharp should have read a book as well called I Gave My Word to Stop at Third, Teen Epison's Day 1999.
Oh!
My story is about the soon-to-be Vice President of the United States of America. His name is J.D. Vance. What is next Monday?
Next Monday is MLK Day.
What else is next Monday?
Is that the inauguration?
That's Inauguration Day.
Okay.
What else is next Monday?
The National Championship
The
game.
National Championship game. J.D. Vance, and I like this guy a lot, if for nothing else, because he will take to Twitter and say things that are it drives old conservatives crazy, and it really drives old liberals crazy. And I love doing both of those things.
Mm-hmm.
He went on Twitter and said, hopefully everyone's cool with me skipping the inauguration so I can go to the national title game. We're all good with that, right? That is such great trolling.
I don't think so.
Would you care? Because I wouldn't care. And I know you're a political guy.
I mean, if the vice president wasn't at the inauguration?
If the vice president went, hey, give it to me. I give my word to not do crimes. Vice president. And then he got on a plane and flew to Atlanta. Would you be upset about it?
No problems with that.
I got no problem.
If he's there, no problem.
Well, the inauguration's at noon, so I mean, I think he can make it to Atlanta for the love of God.
You can't use that as an excuse not to go to the ceremony.
I mean, I think the guy has a plane. I believe he can get there.
We started tailgating at 12, and I got to be there. So I'm not going to be there.
That would officially make him that would make him my favorite vice president of all time. Sorry, boys, I was at the Dale Gate. I was craving down Dale's Pale Ales, got into the light lagers, and the next thing I knew, whoops, I forgot. Ever happened? Happened to me.
Now, to me, that would be like, I'm trying to think of like the sports analogy to this. I guess it would kind of be like the commandant of the Navy not being there for the coin flip of the Army-Navy game, right? If the commander of the Army is there on one side as the head of the Navy, you need to be on the other side if the president's there flipping the coin. Like you can't just skip. You got things. You got to be there. You got to be there for the coin flip.
Look, I've made this very clear. The President of the United States and the Vice President of the United States, the only thing I really need from you is to show strength and maybe not have inappropriate relationships with members of your staff.
Maybe?
Maybe.
I mean, that's
well, and look, I'm a hardcore R, and I'll even say, Bill Clinton wasn't terrible. John F. Kennedy wasn't terrible. So I just throwing it out there.
Okay. Right.
But what I really need you to do is show strength. And there's nothing that shows more strength to me than a shirtless vice president as the H in Ohio just hammered drunk the front row in Atlanta. Just, oh, hi, oh, USA, in that guy. That's who you're messing with. You want to play? Let's play. Your leader's riding a horse shirtless. Ours is hammered at a tailgate. We are not the same. Vladimir.
Clearly, we are not the same. He's got to be there. But go to the game by all means. You got plenty of time.
I think he does. By the way, have you your story with AJ Brown in the book? Have you seen that Eagle fans have been inundating the Amazon page of that book with reviews?
Really?
A great read if you're 1 for 3 with 10 yards in the middle of an NFL playoff game. This is the book for you. A.J. Brown is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Like Goku in the hyperbolic time chamber, my wide receiver 1 is slowly reaching limits beyond human comprehension. AJ's locked in on becoming the NFL's first wide receiver 0. With this book combined with the intense training at the Eagles training facility, Brown will reach a level in which 50-50 balls become true 100-0 balls. I pulled a lot of these because some of them are hilarious.
That's awesome. I like it. This guy's going to make a whole lot of money on that book.
Yeah. That dude should be sending he should be sending an edible arrangement to A.J. Brown's house.
Absolutely.
And it probably should have a real edible in the middle of it because just off the little bit I know about that book, you need it. It expands your mind and makes you really open up the possibilities that we are not alone in this world and that you could be better than you even know you could be by reading this book.
Jeremy doesn't believe in self-help guru stuff, I don't think.
No. Have you ever met somebody that wrote a self-help book?
No.
I met Tony Robbins one time.
Oh, wonderful.
First of all,
old banana hands.
Biggest head I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
That dude's head looks like it's a piñata of Tony Robbins. He's just comically oversized in every way.
Right.
And then you listen to him talk, and did they have to program you before you started? You've said nothing but buzzwords since you've been talking. He's like a 24-hour-a-day sales seminar that you just want to throw water on. Like, stop talking. Not everything is a buzzword. Tony, what do you want for dinner? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Oh, good Lord.
This is just, it tickles me so much because this is truly the voice of somebody who has been beaten down by corporate jargon.
Oh, and
yeah. Who moved my cheese crap from?
Yeah,
let's not.
I also met another guy that I'm not going to throw his name out there because I'm about to crucify his character pretty hard. He wrote a self-help book that sold quite a few copies.
Okay.
And he was quite possibly the biggest Dr. Douchey I've ever met in my life. I wouldn't take your advice on where the bathroom was because your life, he was wearing a suit. I'll never forget this. He was wearing a suit. The jacket didn't match the pants. The tie didn't match the shirt, and none of them matched each other. It wasn't even like he got a happy accident of, hey, I'm wearing a blue blazer. It was like a blue blazer, brown pants, It was the most disjointed thing I'd ever seen. He looked like he'd slept at an off the interstate rest stop the night before and given himself a lady of the night bath in the sink. He had stubble on his face that was at least a quarter of an inch thick. And I'm just looking at this is the guy that's supposed to tell me how to get my life back on track.
Right.
I think we'll stay off the track. I don't need anything he's selling.
That sounds like a John C. Reilly character.
I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, you're not far off.
Right. Just
sold
crazy.
Millions of books.
Uh-huh.
That used to be part of my job, is that I had to go to self-help sales seminars and things. So I'm good.
Yeah. All right, we've got
your wife is way too close with the gardener. I don't need you to tell me what to do with my life.
All right, we got a couple of super chats to get to before the break here.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right, the first one is from Colin, and Colin says, two things that I learned this weekend. One, Justin Herbert is overrated, and the Packers and the Chargers are the same, and they suck. Nice. Very nice.
Okay, so why do you say Justin Herbert's overrated? I've heard this a lot.
Well, I mean, after that performance yesterday, people want to put him in the elite category or right outside the elite category of quarterbacks in the NFL. And a lot of people say that he's just a stat patter. He's basically getting the Matthew Stafford treatment from earlier in his career.
Okay. I don't really know anybody that thinks Justin Herbert is elite. So it's kind of hard for me to think he's overrated when I don't know that I know a human being that has him higher than 10. Do you?
I would imagine there's a lot of people that have him in well inside that. I would say like 7, 8, somewhere in there. Many people probably have him ahead of Jared Goff.
I don't think there's a soul on this earth with an IQ above salad dressing that has him above Jared Goff.
Really?
Jared Goff's the quarterback of the best offense in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
One of the top 10 highest scoring offenses of all time. Justin Herbert was really a hand it off and take shots when they're given guy. I don't think people view him that way. Maybe I'm wrong, and if I am, feel free to tell me in the comments. I guess I would be remiss if I didn't point out that was only his second playoff game. He got absolutely no help. The running game was atrocious. Mm-hmm. Greg Roman did Greg Roman-y things. Hey, weird. I've seen Greg Roman in the playoffs before with a good quarterback who he made look really average, and the running game just completely died on the vine in the playoffs. How does that dude keep getting jobs? I'll never understand it if I live to be 200 years old. I wouldn't go Justin Herbert is overrated yet. I think that team was overrated, and they weren't really ready to play. Then you get into a playoff game and you got Ladd McConkey and nobody else. J.K. Dobbins was obviously hurt. Quentin Johnston was obviously hurt. He started to press because the defense couldn't really hold up, and he got by the dirty bubble. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the dirty bubble is a thing from SpongeBob. It ate Jim Harbaugh in the Nickelodeon broadcast, and every wheel for that car fell off the second it happened.
Everything started to go
Herbert threw an interception, I think, 2 plays later.
Nice.
And that's when everything came tumbling after.
Yep.
Which I find to be I didn't have dirty bubble eliminates the Los Angeles Chargers. That was a headline in the USA Today.
It was not a great showing for Justin Herbert. It's the second time that we've seen him in a playoff game. Yes, it's only the second time we've seen him in a playoff game. He got no help. It should not have been that much of a surprise. Everybody wanted to see the high-powered offense, right? Everybody wanted to see a lot of points scored in that game. But, I mean, we've seen them do this before. We've seen that running game get stopped and that offense get disrupted, and they can't do much.
I'm not here to make excuses for the Chargers, but GG Gambling had a really good point in the YouTube chat. People don't want to say this, but a lot of the Rams and Chargers players' homes are possibly on fire right now.
Oh, sure.
And the last week of their lives has been awfully disjointed.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, look, do you think your performance at work would be affected a little bit if your home was surrounded by fire?
I've been through a hurricane recently. I know it would.
And I guess that's my point is
I know it'd be affected.
I'm really glad he said that because I intended on saying that, and then I got totally off on another tangent where Jeremy got sidetracked. Who's shocked? That's a really good point. And it may bear itself out tonight. You know, the Rams are in the same spot. This is a home game. They had to move to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's a good point.
All right, we got to take a break here. When we come back from the break, we'll get to Gigi's question of who had the worst weekend out of the quarterbacks.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So we'll get to that coming up next right here on ESPN Asheville.
When you're in the thick of a project, Harbor Freight is the place that always comes in handy. Whether you're picking up something for your pickup truck or a power tool for your project, at Harbor Freight, your dollar always goes further. And these days, when everything seems to cost more, you can take pride in knowing that you get hard-working tools at hard-working prices. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
I found a fountain of youth down there at QC Kinetics.
That's Henry Hinton, feeling like his young, active self again after treatments at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine.
I still have trouble walking down steps as I get older. I've had one treatment so far, and I can already tell a difference in my knee.
And that treatment at QC Kinetics used Henry's own natural healing properties, concentrated and placed right at the source of the pain. So Henry and patients just like him will enjoy long-term relief without surgery or downtime.
My knee is not hurting. I remember I was walking down some steps yesterday, and I thought, wow, this is not hurting when I walk down steps. I'm all in on it. I'm all in on QC Kinetics.
It's time to wind back the clock to days without constant joint pain. Start with a call to QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
At Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation, our focus is on you. With 19 locations across North Carolina specializing in short-term rehabilitation and long-term care, our team is ready to support your loved one, providing the compassionate care they need for whatever lies ahead. From physical and occupational therapy to individualized long-term support, discover the ways Sandstone provides compassionate care for all at sanstonehealth.com.
When you get tired of freezing your can at the tailgate, maybe it's time to ring in a new season. Tailgating season. Wherever you are, whatever the forecast, with good old ale, it's the perfect way to kick off game day. From Red Cup Revelry to just kicking it solo, you can't go wrong with Dale's Pale Ale, Dale's Light Lager, and Dale's Easy IPA. Honest ingredients, no BS. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you at the Tailgate.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After a dry start to this week, some showers may move in heading from Friday night and to the start of the weekend. In the meantime, a clearing trend will take place this afternoon with a high of 43 and then turning cloudy overnight and breezy with a low down to 18. Behind a cold front on Tuesday, some sunshine with gusty winds at times out of the northwest at a high near 39. Partly cloudy tomorrow night as the low dips into the mid to upper teens. And the outlook for Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 36. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new $7 Lux Cravings Box from Taco Bell with
with 3 indulgent full-size classics, chips, nacho cheese sauce, and a drink for just $7 at participating stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra.
FEMA funding is available to support repairs on private roads and bridges, even if your primary home is not damaged. Volunteer organizations may also be able to help. For more information or to schedule an inspection, call 1-800-621-FEMA. That's 1-800-621-3362. Again, FEMA funding is available to support repairs on private roads and bridges, even if your primary home is not damaged. Call 1-800-621-3362. NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring correctional officers statewide. Benefits include a $10,000 sign-on bonus, paid vacation, and health insurance. That's right, a $10,000 sign-on bonus, paid vacation, and health insurance. Explore a career in criminal justice and learn what it actually involves. Looking for dedicated people with integrity and compassion who are interested in a stable and rewarding career. Visit dac.nc.gov/cojobs. dac.nc.gov/cojobs.
Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Pay. That's pay. Enter it now.
You got to get in to win. Go to ESPNAVL.com, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and you can join us in the chat each and every day. It is an Overreaction Monday.
Overreaction Monday.
I overstepped it. I stopped at A, and I didn't do it right. That's my bad. I'll do it right next time. My apologies. We had wild card weekend almost in the books. Monday Night Football tonight in Arizona. We've got the matchup between the LA Rams and the Minnesota Vikings to decide the last spot in the Divisional Round playoff. Next week we will have in the AFC Chiefs and Texans and the Bills and the Ravens. So excited for that game.
Yes, then they did that right. That game should be last.
Yes, and then we will have the Washington Commanders trying to upset the Detroit Lions. That'll be on Saturday night. And then on Sunday afternoon, we'll have the Eagles facing off against the winner of tonight's game.
Which games are we going to live stream next week?
Ooh, man. I mean, I would feel like Bills-Ravens has to be on the list.
That's got to be one of them. And that's the last game of the weekend, right?
Yeah, I would say probably the primetime games. We do the Lions and the Commanders, 8 o'clock on Saturday night.
Yeah, we could probably make that work.
Well, the only other option is the Chiefs and the Texans. And I think I've seen enough Texans football. I don't
Yeah.
It's just not fun. It just wasn't fun to watch.
Gigi said all of them. That's a lot of time.
Oh, that is a lot.
That's a whole nother week of talking. I'm also cutting prospect profiles for the new draft website. Mm-hmm. My poor voice probably can't hold up to all of that.
I was going to say, that is a lot of talking for one day. But we will definitely do some more live streams. We had some fun with that during the Wild Card weekend. And you can follow us at the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias, as well as follow us on the YouTube and get alerts whenever we go live with new content. Now we have another super chat to get to from GG Gambling. We wanted to give this a little more space to breathe because it really is just an entire segment conversation. That's the word I was looking for. Jeez.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
I don't know why the word conflagration was stuck in my head right there, but it is what it is. GG Gambling says, who had the worst day in Wild Card Weekend? Was it Bo Nix? Was it Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, or Baker Mayfield? He said, who has the best future looking forward for each? Also, let's go Rams, and loves Arizona LAR money line. Backdoor Super Bowl? SB? Backdoor. I don't know what that means. It says backdoor SB.
Don't
know. All right, so who had the worst weekend? Was it Baker Mayfield and his turnover that basically turned the game against...
I don't feel like that should have surprised anybody.
The Washington Commanders? Is it Bo Nix and just the anemic offense that they have?
Bo. By the way, great stat that I had to vet, but is actually true. Did you know that is the first time in NFL history that we've had a rookie-to-rookie touchdown pass in the NFL playoffs?
Really?
It's the first time it's ever happened.
That's interesting.
Bo Nix to Troy Franklin. And then there was not another highlight over the entire day.
No.
I would say worst weekend, Herbert, there was a lot going on there. And that team overachieved.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really feel like they – I guess I'm not holding it against him as much as everybody else is.
Okay.
Baker did exactly what I expect Baker Mayfield to do. So that brings me to the other two. Bo Nix just showed you exactly who he is. The question is, do you want to hate it or not? I understand that people think I'm just a hater of certain quarterbacks, and nothing they do is ever going to be good enough for me. My question would be, do you not see a commonality between the quarterbacks that I feel that way about? Bo Nix, Baker Mayfield, Jordan Love. I can do this for a while. There's a lot of them. It's because there's nothing elite about any of you. Two of you are smallish guys that try to be hyper athletic. You're not. You make chicken salad out of chicken excrement. Congratulations. That's good enough to get you the 7 seed. It's not competitive in playoff games. Bo Nix got absolutely lambasted off the face of the planet. I don't know how much of that Bills game you watched. I at no point even felt like Denver belonged on the field with them.
No.
Oh, our defense is so good. No, you're not. You have one great player, and your little tiny edge rusher is really cute against bad offensive lines. Then you play a legit big boy team, and you get your face mushed. Just exactly like I told you you would. That's the negative. Here's the positive. You are a year plus ahead of schedule. You shouldn't have been here. If you hadn't played genuinely probably the worst schedule in the NFL, you wouldn't have been here. But you did. And you made the best of a bad situation. You got to the playoffs. You gave yourself some hope. I would say there will be guys that want to play in Denver for Sean Payton. I think they will be able to add pieces. You're at a talent deficiency because you gave up so much capital for Russell Wilson. It usually takes 3 years to unwind that. So I can't say that the worst weekend was Bo Nix. That only leaves one. There is no player in NFL history that I have gotten more garbage about than Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
I've never understood what it is that you people are seeing. I don't get it, and I don't think I ever will get it, because that's not the first time that I've seen Jordan Love go into a situation and look completely overmatched by a team that didn't impress me in any way. Philadelphia was starting 2 rookies on the outside, and I get it. Your receiving core was hurt. Christian Watson's done for the year. Romeo Doubs got hurt in this game. Jaden Reed got hurt in this game. They were both there for an extended period of time. This game was pretty much already over by the time both of those things happened. And you can tell me the score, all of it. I don't care. Jordan Love has arguably a top 4 running back in the NFL. He has an offensive line that has been invested in pretty handsomely. He has a receiving core that has been invested in draft capital-wise in a way that I don't know that I've ever seen before. And a defense that has a lot of players. And it's not enough to even really be competitive in a playoff game. You got beaten bloody. And you looked like a fan that won a fan contest. When you made $3 million a year, that's fine. You don't anymore. You signed the big boy contract because Green Bay had to get you under wraps because everybody in the fan base said, we've done it again. We found Brett Favre. We found Aaron Rodgers when the entire NFL was down on him. We found Jordan Love when the entire NFL was down on him. Guess what? The entire NFL was down on him for one very simple reason, because he is one of the top 5 worst decision makers I've ever seen in my life. He throws into trouble all the time. Mm-hmm. One of the best throws he had yesterday was a straight-up 50-50 ball to Dontavian Wicks where he was on a safety and Reed Blankenship just did not know where the ball was. That was that was the longest completion he had the entire day.
Yep.
He was awful. Now, I'm going to give him a little bit of credit in that you did win a lot of games and you got this team here. When there's not a lot in Green Bay that I feel great about. You said this yesterday, that they don't have a star. Mm-hmm. They have 0 stars on this team. The biggest stars on this team are 2 free agent acquisitions in Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney, a running back and a safety. Mm-hmm. Name me a team in NFL history that's ever won a Super Bowl where their 2 best players were a running back and a safety. Oh, I'll save you the time. It's never happened.
Not one.
Because those are 2 ancillary positions. Green Bay does a good job of drafting guys that are NFL-level talents. They don't do a great job of drafting stars. And so you look at that and you take this franchise for what it is, and then you play Jordan Love out. See, I've been doing this for 2 years, and I'm actually more down on the players around Jordan Love right now than I ever have been before. I've been playing this out for 2 years going, okay, tell me the path, because that's what I'm always looking for. What is the path that this gets put together in a way that makes sense that you're going to be competitive for a Super Bowl? This is a team that drafts fine. You're not special. This is a team that does not dive much into free agency. You just did, really, for one of the first times in your franchise's history, you nailed it on a safety, you nailed it on a running back. Well, the problem is that you've got all these ancillary pieces that are getting ready to come up, which means they're getting ready to get a lot more expensive, which means I'm putting the onus back on that front office to go into the draft and get me meaningful players. Meanwhile, I look around and see a handful of guys like Lucas Van Ness, who was high upside, very low floor, because he hadn't played a ton of snaps at Iowa, and you've done nothing to develop him. Why in the world would I think you were going to do it moving forward? If you've never done something, and LaFleur's been here for a slew of years, you've never really developed guys. Guys go to Green Bay, they get a certain level of good, and then they completely flatline. They plateau. Christian Watson. We thought Christian Watson was on a trajectory to be a superstar. What happened? He stopped improving. Injuries, I get it. His technique didn't improve either. Nothing about him has improved in the last 2 years. Why is that? Jaden Reed looked like he was on a star turn. He flatlined. Romeo Dobbs looked like he was on a star turn. Flatlined. Tucker Kraft has gotten to a certain level. Luke Musgrave has been a complete bust. I keep doing this. Mm-hmm. There's no reason for me to think that a Green Bay Packer team that has not been able to do this over the course of the last 10 years, they couldn't do it with Aaron freaking Rodgers, but you think they're going to do it with Jordan Love. That's comically stupid to me. Jordan Love is one of the most overrated players I've ever seen because he has a really lively arm, and he does not see the field really well. So he is the worst kind of dangerous. He knows he can make every throw on the field, and he has no idea when to take those shots and when not to. Mm-hmm. He throws into coverage more than any quarterback I've ever seen. And I don't get it. I genuinely do not understand what people have seen in him over the years. Well, but he wins games. Okay. Well, last year he had the Bears and the Vikings, who were both bottom 10 teams in the league. Mm-hmm. That was 4 of his wins. Who did he really beat this year? Did you notice that Malik Willis came in for 2 games for this team and not a whole lot changed? Mm-hmm. Do you find that to be ironic?
I don't.
The Green Bay Packers went 11-7 this year. They lost in the playoffs to the Eagles. They lost week 1 to the Eagles. They lost to the Vikings. They lost to the Lions twice. They lost to the Vikings again. They lost to the Bears the last week of the season. Do you know what all those teams except one have in common? They made the playoffs. Now let's look at who you beat. The Colts, the Titans, the Rams, the Cardinals, the Texans, by 2 early on in a game that CJ Stroud was absolutely awful. But I'll concede that one. Mm-hmm. The Jaguars, the Bears, the 49ers, the Dolphins, the Seahawks, and the Saints. Do you know what all of those teams but 2 have in common? They did not make the playoffs. Right. All Jordan Love is a mediocre bully that can beat up on little kids that can't defend the slew of weapons he's got, because you don't have enough good players to cover Jaden Reed and Christian Watson and Tucker Kraft and stop Josh Jacobs, and then our defense comes in and blitzes all the time, and we can get home, and I can beat you. He's Tua Tagovailoa in the NFC. There's no difference. None. And now you're both gruesomely overpaid. Oh, by the way, you've also got a big bad wolf in your division. Because Green Bay, you have Detroit, and I would argue Minnesota, because I do think Sam Darnold is the future there, and they've got the coach. I'm not sure you have either one.
Right.
I know for damn well you do not have the quarterback. I'm not sure about your coach. And if I was Green Bay, much like a team we're going to talk about in the next segment, I would be looking at my coach that just seems to get me to the playoffs every year and go, am I happy with this?
Mm-hmm. There comes a point where the baseline changes. The baseline of expectations has to change. Is it just good enough for Matt LaFleur to keep getting you to the playoffs and not being competitive for an actual championship? We had this discussion in the waning years of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Remember all of the clock things that we went through with Matt LaFleur and game time, the late game decisions. What they couldn't get over the hump against the San Francisco 49ers because who was standing in their way? Matt LaFleur. It's the same guy now, and now you've got a worse quarterback to match up with him. It's a great answer. Jordan Love, horrible. Absolutely horrible against Philadelphia Eagles. I feel like Justin Herbert was the worst one of the weekend.
Why?
Just in circumstance of where you are, where people believe that you are, the fact that you threw more interceptions this weekend than you did in the entire NFL season.
But Justin Herbert had 17 weeks of resume to go. This is where I'm improving. Mm-hmm. I finally have a good coach. Oh, yeah. I just don't have the weapons. Where is that for Jordan Love?
Oh, no.
He has none of those excuses.
No, there's not one for Jordan Love.
Oh, by the way, they're the same age. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not know that.
Jordan Love and Justin Herbert are exactly the same age.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to pick one moving forward, which one would it be?
Justin Herbert.
Not close.
Not close. That's why I think it was a worse weekend for him, because I think his future trajectory is the best of all of these quarterbacks. Yet now he's falling into the Lamar Jackson doubter territory. Right? How good of a quarterback can you be, and how good can you be when it matters? Because now we've seen you in 2 playoff games, and a lot of the reason your team lost can be tied directly back to you. So now it's becoming okay, maybe he can get us to the playoffs, but is he the guy to win us games?
Give me the difference between the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Your stalwart franchises that never fire anybody.
Yeah.
You always seem to have a quarterback that, well, that's just your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
For better or worse, you've always got that guy.
Okay.
You're very loyal to scouts. You're very loyal to people in the front office. There's never really any change, and you're never really competitive for Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
You're the same team. You're the same team.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, we have one of these. There's a direct comp. One day we'll do this at some point. There's a direct comp in the AFC for every team in the NFC, and obviously vice versa.
Okay. That could be a fun little exercise.
Oh, yeah. You're all there. Every single one of you have one.
Mm-hmm.
And they're almost infallible.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM. 880 AM at 1400.
Kelvin Joyner with a good point. Green Bay does not have a wide receiver that's a complete psychopath. So, all right, there is one big difference.
All right.
Pittsburgh tends to get the psychopath receivers. Green Bay gets the receivers that nobody can really remember their names. Because you're all just kind of here.
And they get hurt a lot.
And they get hurt a lot. Even with that little pillow on their heads.
Yes.
Boop, boop, boop.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Right now, during Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic. Plus, get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the hardest hit areas in those first hours. Like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy on a
Overreaction Monday.
And Wild Card Weekend turned out to be the end of the line for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That would be Ann on an
It would be
Overreaction Monday.
Yes, it would be an Overreaction Monday. Whatever.
That drives me nuts.
Go ahead.
Put A where an belongs.
Yes.
It's an Overreaction Monday. No, it's an Overreaction Monday. The next word starts with a vowel, which means it's an.
Okay, Captain Grammar.
I am. For a guy that talks like Sling Blade, I really do want you to speak correctly.
Going to harp on that. Mike Tomlin, his playoff record continues to take a big old hit.
I think the funniest stat I saw all weekend was that 4 Mikes have won playoff games since Mike Tomlin, and one of them is Mike Malarkey.
Mike Malarkey.
I forgot he was alive
in
this world.
2017 with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I forgot Mike Malarkey was a person.
It's been, 10 years?
Oh, God, when did he get fired?
No, I mean 10 years since the Steelers won a playoff game.
I was talking about since he was a coach in this league. It's been 6 years since he's worked in the NFL.
Yes.
Ugh.
The last playoff wins for the Pittsburgh Steelers came in 2016, so not quite 10 years. They won 2 games in the playoffs in 2016 and lost in the AFC Championship game. Since his second year as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers and winning that Super Bowl, they got back to 1 in 2010, and then since then, he's won 3 games in the playoffs since 2010. 15 years, 3 playoff wins, 2 of them came in 1 season.
That's horrifically bad. I mean, his record is 3-9? He's 3-9 in the playoffs in 15 years.
Yes.
How do we not talk about this more?
Because he always gets to the playoffs. Because he gets there with teams that don't really deserve to win a playoff game.
So is that better? Is it better to get there and just, we showed up for the playoffs. Now we got our face mushed. And I asked this question on social media. Should the Steelers bring back Russell Wilson? Vehement no.
No, absolutely not.
Should they bring back Justin Fields?
I think yes.
I would go vehement no.
Really?
I don't think anything changes. If you're going to bring back Mike Tomlin, it would be kind of a fool's errand to give him a quarterback that he didn't think was better than old Rusty Shackelford. Because the first reason you give him to sit him down, he will.
Mm-hmm. But he can win. He went 6-2 this year with him. So if he's the option, if you've got to pay Russell Wilson any kind of money next year.
Oh, yeah. By the way, can we stop with if you can get Russell Wilson and Sam Darnold for the same money, which would you do? A, you can't.
You can't.
B, if you could, it would not be a question. C, if it was a question, you're too stupid for me to continue to talk to. Like, we need to get you somewhere in a chair because you're a risk to fall down.
Absolutely. Agreed.
And also that 6-2 thing, I saw that a lot because a lot of people commented that.
Sure.
Okay. You beat the Falcons, the Broncos, the Chargers, the Raiders, the Jets, and the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Calm down.
I get it.
Oh, and by the way, Justin Fields was not 6-2.
Was he not? I thought he was.
He was 4-2.
4-2. That's what it was. He was 4-2.
The Jets was the first game that you got Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Then Russell beat the Giants. Woo! 2 just miraculous wins over the Commanders and the Ravens. His other 2 victories were the Bengals and the Browns. Every other good team they played just smacked them in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
This is not hard. That team's not good. The system's not good. You cannot win in the NFL right now playing Steeler football. We're going to run really well and play great defense. Hey, what's your quarterback going to do? Because have you noticed? I don't know. It's a new trend. I know, and I understand that you hadn't picked up on it yet. Quarterback kind of matters. And yours has been fossil Ben Roethlisberger and little Kenny Pickett and Rusty Shackelford. If I have a nickname for your quarterback, it means he's not good. You ever notice that I don't have nicknames for good quarterbacks? Jared Goff, that went away when he went to Detroit because he wasn't Jared Goff anymore. Now he's Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson, yeah, he's good at football, especially when he has Derrick Henry. I don't know why this is so hard. I really don't. And to me, I feel like Pittsburgh Steelers fans cling on to just being competitive because they can't bear the thought of bottoming out. You do realize every good team in the NFL right now bottomed out at some point.
Yes.
All of them. The Buffalo Bills were one of the worst teams in the league. The Detroit Lions were the worst franchise in the NFL. The Eagles didn't necessarily bottom out, but they had a couple bad years in there. And they just drafted better than the rest of you.
Right. If you're as good as we all believe you are as an organization, right, you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that is a class of the NFL organization. The fact that they've had, 4 coaches in 55 years or whatever the stat is. You claim to be one of the greatest organizations in the NFL's history. I think you can survive it. I think you kind of owe it to your fans to try something else. I said this for years about Marvin Lewis. Now, I'm not saying these guys that Marvin Lewis and Mike Tomlin are equals here, but they're not far off.
They're a lot closer than you would want them to be.
One of them has a Super Bowl. One of them's been in 2 Super Bowls. I get it. One's been to 3 AFC championship games. I don't think Marvin Lewis ever made it that far in the playoffs. Remember how many years he went one and done? What was it, like 8 years in a row? At some point, you have to pull the plug. At some point, you have to say, this isn't working. At some point, the message goes stale. Jimmy Johnson on the talk, or what was it? I guess it was on the pregame or the postgame show yesterday. They were playing it on Greeny earlier today as we were getting ready for the show, and he was joking about, and I don't know how much of it was a joke, just stating for a fact, basically, that if the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers wanted to do a trade for coaches, both organizations could be happy with that. Both organizations could look at Mike Tomlin going to Dallas and Mike McCarthy going to Pittsburgh. We still have a coach who knows how to win, but that's an arrangement that could work. But you have to realize when it's not going to lead anywhere else. When you've tapped out your success, it's time to make a change. You don't just keep hitting the same budget numbers over and over and over again. If you work in a business, you know what happens when you hit the budget for the first year, right? What happens? The budget goes up the next year because you want growth. There's no growth here.
I'm going to tell you another stat about Mike Tomlin that's a little awe-inspiring.
Okay.
Bill Cowher is 25th all time in NFL head coaching victories.
Okay.
Mike Tomlin is 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Of the 23 coaches ahead of Bill Cowher, there's one that was way back in the 1930s, so that kind of skews this stat. Curly Lambeau and George Halas were also up there too, so let me do the math on that. That means you've got 21 guys here.
Okay.
Of the 21 modern-era coaches ahead of Bill Cowher, how many of them have a worse playoff record than Mike Tomlin in terms of winning percentage?
I would say maybe one.
Bud Grant does not. He's close, though.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Knox did. And yes, I do see the irony in that. Marty Schottenheimer, Jeff Fisher. Oh, wait, Jeff Fisher's not worse. It's 2.
Marty Schottenheimer was the one I was thinking.
Marty Schottenheimer, Chuck Knox. That's it. That's the difference. You're an accumulator. You've been here for 1 billion years. Mike Tomlin's been here 18 years in a longer – he has a longer schedule than a lot of these other guys did. So you've won a ton of games. You also have 165 losses, which is more than literally everybody on that list. Every guy ahead of Bill Cowher in coaching wins has less losses than Mike Tomlin. That should tell you something. I'm going to make a comparison, and I think it's going to shock Tank that Mike Tomlin is the Tony Gwynn of the NFL. He was never the best player on the field, ever.
Okay.
Because he didn't do anything special. He can get on base, but once he got on base, he wasn't particularly fast.
No.
Couldn't steal bases. Kind of a liability if you had a fast player behind him. So you had to stack the lineup a very specific way to really make the best use of him. Doesn't mean he's not good. Just means he's not elite. There's a big difference. If you compare Barry Bonds and Tony Gwynn, it doesn't take you long to go, one of them is an all-time great because he did something well. Better than anybody's ever done. Oh, and it was the same thing you do. That's the problem for Mike Tomlin, is that Mike Tomlin is in an era where there is a coach in your division that is doing what you do gooder than you do. Because I could say everything I just said about Mike Tomlin, I could say the same thing about John Harbaugh. You know what the difference is? John Harbaugh wins games in the playoffs. He might get knocked off in the AFC Championship game. He might get knocked off in the divisional. You've won 3 playoff games in 15 years. 3.
Yep.
Do you know how many wins John Harbaugh has in virtually the same amount of time?
How many?
Because he was hired a year after Tomlin. So literally there's only a 2-year buffer here, and I don't think he made the playoffs in one of those 2 years. He's won 13 playoff games. There's a big dadgum difference there.
Clearly there is.
That's the problem with Mike Tomlin. It would be one thing if he was coaching in the AFC East and he was dealing with Adam Gase and Brian Flores and Gerard Mayo. He's not. He's not. He's dealing with a great young quarterback in Cincinnati, with a great young receiver, and a handful of other great players. A Cleveland roster that's very talented, and a Baltimore roster that they do literally every single thing better than you.
Yes.
Their quarterback's better than yours. Their coach is better than yours. Their scouting department's better than yours. Their GM is better than yours. Their owner's better than yours. It's just the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts. The Baltimore Ravens are light years ahead of the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. I don't care that they're close. Well, Pittsburgh makes the playoffs every year. They're a threat to nothing. They're a threat to no one. Baltimore laughs at you of, you can beat us in the playoffs. Or you can beat us in the regular season. We wanted to play you in the playoffs. We were praying it would end up being you because you were so much easier of a matchup for us than the San Diego or the Los Angeles Chargers, the Cincinnati Bengals, any of these other teams. We wanted to play you. You're very one-dimensional, and you're very easy to defend. If I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I have to be looking at Mike Tomlin going, this isn't good enough.
I do appreciate the baseball analogy. It was very good on you.
It was a good baseball analogy.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
You like Tony Gwynn way too much.
No, stop that. There's no room for Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn was a great singles hitter. But that's exactly what he was.
He was one of the greatest hitters of all time.
For sure.
But
him and Ichiro Suzuki are virtually the same guy.
Exactly. You're hitting a lot of singles. You're not out. It's not sexy. You're not out there hitting home runs like Barry Bonds. You're not. So I get it in that sense of Mike Tomlin's out here hitting singles, right? He's one and done in the playoffs. There's a whole bunch of singles. Yeah, it's great that you've never had a losing record. But in the end, what do we have? What do we have to show for it? It's a whole lot of failure in the playoffs. And I'm tired of, as a Steeler fan, I would be tired of the excuses.
You're in the worst spot in the NFL. You're in purgatory. You're never bad enough to really get better because you can never fire a coach. You can never fire a GM. You can never have real upheaval. You have a boat out in the middle of the ocean, and you keep throwing Flex Seal on it. Well, eventually, that boat sinks. And you wasted 20 years being largely non-competitive because you were afraid of sinking. Meanwhile, what you don't realize is that you're actually sinking just a little bit every single year. So instead of just taking the full-on, oh, crap, we hit the iceberg, we're taking on water, we're going to full-on capsize, go into the water, everybody bail water, hope to God the rescue boats get here. No, you're just sinking just a little bit out into the middle of the ocean every single year. And you're getting further and further away from being any form of competitive every single year.
Same thing with all of these quarterback decisions that keep getting made of paying mediocre quarterbacks. It's because we're afraid of the unknown. We're happy to hang on to what we have as long as it's steady and comfortable. We don't want to upset the apple cart. We know we've got a coach that's going to keep us competitive, keep us with a winning record, keep our heads above water. But we're never going further than that. We're always continually treading water, and at some point, it all ends the same way. Your arms get tired, and you're going to drown.
We have a super chat before we go into the commercial break, and this is every bit as good of a hockey comparison as my baseball comparison was.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Eamon Report said ownership has to stop trying to be the Detroit Red Wings of the NFL and try to continue the winning streak. Chances are that they'll be stuck with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
That's an excellent comparison because that's exactly what happened to Detroit. Then what happened? Eventually, all of your little flex seal, it all fails. And when it all fails, you're not just bad, you're bad because you haven't developed anything. You got a bunch of random middle of the first round draft picks. There are no stars. So you're a borderline expansion team. The Red Wings were terrible for years. I can't even remember how long it took for them to get back into vague competitiveness. I'll give you another example. The Detroit Pistons did the same thing. They had a great roster of 12 guys that could legitimately play. The problem is that they all aged like dairy products, and you were constantly picking at the end of the first round. So what happened? You never added new talent. Those guys get older. Chauncey Billups gets older. Ben Wallace gets older. And now you're just an old lineup that can't score. That's where the Pittsburgh Steelers are. By the way, do you see an irony that all of the ones that I've referenced here have all been in cities that are tougher blue-collar cities?
Yeah.
Because tough blue-collar cities really don't like to be terrible.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After a dry start to this week, some showers may move in heading from Friday night into the start of the weekend. In the meantime, a clearing trend will take place this afternoon with a high of 43 and then turning cloudy overnight and breezy with a low down to 18. Behind a cold front on Tuesday, some sunshine with gusty winds at times out of the northwest at a high near 39. Partly cloudy tomorrow night as the low dips into the mid to upper teens. And the outlook for Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 36. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off, free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Mark Starling, and this Medical Minute is brought to you by Haywood Regional Medical Center. Your health means everything to you, your family, and your community. And every minute matters when an emergency puts your health at risk. That's why it's so important to get to the hospital and get the care you need as soon as possible. The emergency department at Haywood Regional Medical Center provides quality care and even higher levels of emergency heart care found in their accredited chest pain center for just that added peace of mind. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Remember, when an emergency strikes, don't make your health wait. Get to the hospital as soon as you can and get the care that you need now at Haywood Regional Medical Center. Continuing a long-standing tradition of excellence, Haywood Regional Medical Center offers a comprehensive array of services. For more information and to check average ER wait times, visit myhaywoodregional.com. That's myhaywoodregional.com. This has been the Medical Minute, brought to you by Haywood Regional Medical Center.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Back at the Sportsocracy, this is ESPN Asheville, and he never ceases to amaze me. The real life Batman never ceases to amaze.
Elon Musk.
Oh, Elon Musk. He's out here doing it again. So from his generosity of sending all the Starlinks and such up to Western North Carolina when we were completely cut off from society as far as internet signal goes and power and such. He's also stepping up now to help out with the wildfire recovery out in California. Only he's doing it in a different way. He's not sending Starlinks to California. He's not having to airdrop Starlinks into these, remote areas. No, I guess we're right down the street from the Cybertruck Bank. So he sent Cybertrucks in to save the day. Thousands of Cybertrucks have been sent in to help the local efforts with keeping everybody connected. They sent the Cybertrucks to the emergency command centers, and the trucks themselves are serving as the power source for the command stations, and also the Wi-Fi connectivity that they need to organize all of the recovery efforts.
Why is it that everything Elon Musk makes works better? Everything he does, it just works better than other stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. But Elon Musk, once again, it was wild watching footage on the Twitter of the Cybertruck convoy coming down the Pacific Coast Highway, heading to be deployed into the wildfire area. It's craziness.
My story has to do with New Year's resolutions. Did you have any New Year's resolutions this year?
Nah, I didn't.
I think they're dumb. I do. I think they're dumb. Mine is always the same.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to tell people to falafel themselves less this year. And I break it by about the fourth day of the year.
Yes.
Well, Clark Lay is the head coach of the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Say.
Clayton Lay, who may or may not be his brother, and if he is his brother, he spells his last name the wrong way. He owns a gym. It's called Ascendancy Fitness.
Okay.
Which I feel like any word that is that hard to both pronounce and spell, probably not a great thing to name a gym. Ascendancy.
Okay.
That sounds like a gym for Scientologists, but whatever. You do you.
You got to get fit before we all get on the spaceship.
He has a problem with New Year's resolutions.
Okay.
To the point of he stopped taking new members to Ascendancy Fitness on New Year's Eve.
Really?
He doesn't want the influx of January, I'm going to get in better shape, people. I am not a gym person in the first place because I don't want to. I'll die. It's fine. I know I've known for a long time. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You live like I do, you pretty much tapped out on your 70s. Your 60s are in peril, and if you're not careful, your 50s are going to be on unsteady ground. I don't care about any of those things. He wants to keep his gym copacetic for all of the people that got him through the other 11 months. He doesn't want all of those new people to come in and take up all the machines and be in the way. So he just doesn't allow anybody to join the gym in January. I think that's brilliant.
Sounds misguided to me, but okay.
Why? You ever been in a gym in January? It's the worst.
No, I've never been in a gym in January.
It's awful. Awful. Because you have all these new year, new me Karens that are waiting on their kid to get out of karate. That are on a stair stepper going about, I don't know, the speed of smell, watching The View with their stupid headband and their stupid earbuds. Get out of my way!
Jeremy has an anger issue.
I do. I actually stopped going to my gym years ago because I got so tired of this.
Okay. I mean,
the first 3 weeks of January, just stay home. But you're going to get nowhere. And they don't wipe their nasty sweat off of machines because they think somebody should do it behind them because they're all entitled little twerps.
But see, should the business or should the gym not want new people to experience that, right? You don't want to open up your doors and bring new people in that's how you find serious candidates, right?
No. They'll quit in 3 weeks. They always do.
Okay.
By March, ghost town. You're right back to the same people, and all you did was run off 15% of your clientele that had been here the whole year, and now they don't want to come because Karen wanted to do something while Toby and Landon were at karate. Go away.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one of those. This is one of those things that, trust me, I've experienced this enough times. This guy's right. This guy's doing it right. You want to join a gym? You join a gym in October. All right, when Halloween candy's on the shelf and your Valentine is in the offing, don't do it in January. January's easy. All right? You've already had all the fat holidays. You're 6 weeks from another fat holiday. You want to join a gym? You do it October 23rd. That is for people who are really here to do what they're trying to do.
Yes, it's a great way to make sure that no new customers come to your gym. It's a great way to do that.
Well, that's basically saying I don't need new customers.
Oh,
I'm good with what I've got.
If that's where you're at, then awesome. You know,
this
good
is.
for you.
I'm going to wager this is not some fledgling gym. I looked at their social media, and they're paying somebody a mess of money to do their social media hits.
Right.
So I think they're fine.
Yeah. I get it. Honestly, I just thought it was code for we really want to keep out the ugly people. So,
no, this was code for I want to not make the gym an awful place to be for 6 weeks. And then Valentine's Day shows up, and Aiden and Jaden and Hayden all get me a box of chocolates, and I just grudge eat them while I watch the Golden Bachelorette.
The Golden Bachelorette.
I was talking to a specific person there. They'll probably never know that I was talking specifically to them. There was a person when I lived in Greenville. There was a girl that joined my gym every single year between January 2nd and 4th, and I never saw her in a month that didn't rhyme with January. Ever.
Right.
Good Lord, she would attack. Oh, she was the worst.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We learn something new about Jeremy every day.
There are at least a few people going, that felt targeted and hurtful. It was meant to.
Yeah. It's a kinder, softer Jeremy for 2025.
Yeah, that's not happening. Actually, I want to be angrier, spew more vitriol. That's mine.
All right, it is an Overreaction Monday here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. One more game to go in Wild Card Weekend. We got the Vikings and the Rams coming up tonight on Monday Night Football, 8 o'clock, live from Arizona. We will continue the Overreaction Monday discussions after this.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Kevin Hart here for DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
When you get tired of freezing your can at the tailgate, maybe it's time to ring in a new season. Tailgating season. Wherever you are, whatever the forecast, with good old ale, it's the perfect way to kick off game day. From Red Cup Revelry to just kicking it solo, you can't go wrong with Dale's Pale Ale, Dale's Light Lager, and Dale's Easy IPA. Honest ingredients, no BS. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you at the Tailgate.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After a dry start to this week, some showers may move in heading from Friday night and to the start of the weekend. In the meantime, a clearing trend will take place this afternoon with a high of 43 and then turning cloudy overnight and breezy with a low down to 18. Behind a cold front on Tuesday, some sunshine with gusty winds at times out of the northwest at a high near 39. Partly cloudy tomorrow night as the low dips into the mid to upper teens. And the outlook for Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 36. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
It's just not normal, the pain caused from chronic joint pain day after day. But some of you have dealt with that pain for so long, it becomes your new normal. Short-term fixes are not working. Get moving again in 2025 with help from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine joint preservation. Yes, you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. This is the future of medicine using an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis. Tens of thousands of people with pain have discovered these cellular treatments and are living life again without that constant pain pain in their joints. Want to learn more about how you can refresh your joints to get lasting relief with these amazing treatments? Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Deal with joint pain now so you can make the most of the new year. Call QC Kinetics in Asheville and Greenville. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, bank. That's bank. Enter it now.
You got to get in to win. Go to ESPNAVL.com, and good luck.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go around the world on the iHeart Radio app. We are seen live in the Ingalls studio on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. Don't forget to follow us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And thank you for joining us here for an
Overreaction Monday.
Hey, you like how I put the N in there?
Yeah.
See, living by the rules.
Hey, you can do whatever you want. My week in this building is halfway over in 1 hour. So I forgot I do have to be here Wednesday. So
yes, indeed.
Although the new the website is coming along smoothly, all of the new player things, it's a lot of stuff.
Good. He's talking about NFLDraft.net.
A 3-year labor of love that kind of fell by the wayside no less than 11 times.
Mm-hmm. And will be your source for all things Flostradamus and ESPN Draft Nerdy coming up shortly.
There's a lot of draft nerd. Mm-hmm. A lot.
It is an Overreaction Monday here in the Sportsocracy. We will get to the daily draft, stock up, stock down from the week that was in football. But first, we got a couple of super chats that we need to get to.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right, the first one comes to us from Great North Sports. Says the Jerry Jones denying the Bears a chance to talk to Mike McCarthy and then also firing Mike McCarthy is a level of petty that we can only aspire to.
I can't figure out. I can't wrap my brain around, but for why did you do that? So if you denied him the chance to talk to the Bears, they'll have the chance to talk to him tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You didn't slow them down in any way. Because they probably wouldn't have gotten to Mike McCarthy until this week anyway.
Right.
And yet you slowed yourself down 8 days. I can't make that math make any sense to me.
Well, it was the decision made 8 days ago, do you think? Because I don't.
I do.
To me, I feel like this was was indecision down to the wire.
If they'd had any negotiation with him, I would agree with you. You haven't spoken to him since you denied the Bears. Make that make sense.
All I can see in my head is Jerry Jones sitting in a room with his phone debating with himself for 8 days. Should I call him? Should I not call him? Well, maybe I should call him. No, maybe I shouldn't call him. Like, you did that for 8 days?
All I can see is him sitting in his gigantic theater watching the season finale of Landman going, I could have been in that episode. I think we talked about this. I could have had a role.
If there was an Emmy given out for the best cameo in a dramatic streaming series, It's going to Jerry Jones.
And by the way, if you know what happened in the series or in the season finale of Landman, and you tell me, you think my anger at people coming to the gym?
Oh, no, we're going to fight.
I'll fight you like a man.
Absolutely.
Because I didn't get to watch it for the because of the playoffs yesterday. It's the first thing I'm going to do when I get home. So I got like 3 hours of you were not allowed to tell me anything.
Yes. That game kicks off at 8?
Yes.
Sweet. We'll have plenty of time to watch it before the game starts tonight.
Yes, I have an episode of the new Dexter and an episode and the final episode of Landman that and we'll slide right into Sammy D MVP from
now.
that.
Was this the final or was this the season
This
finale?
was the season finale.
Okay, so this is not being called a series
No,
finale.
this is
or
the
anything
season
like
finale.
Okay, awesome, because I need like 18 more seasons.
Yes.
For the show. Their second super chat here comes from Colin.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Almost want to give him 2 of these for the $20 super chat. We always appreciate it. Colin, he says, I know this is a random question. If you have to give one quarterback $500 million and Patrick Mahomes is not on the table, who would it be? He says, I've been struggling with this. Much love, guys, for dealing with my random questions. We appreciate the random questions, Colin. Always happy to answer.
The next one's Jaden Daniels.
That would be next on your list? Like if you're just stroking half a bill checks?
Well, I mean, Josh Allen's his deal runs so long that I don't know that he's getting $500 million on that deal because he'll be 30.
True. Because he got, what, 470 or something like that in that deal? He got close.
It's pulled up here somewhere.
I feel like he got close. It was like a 10-year 470 deal, something like that.
Josh Allen got – wow, he's way lower down there. 258.
258. Huh?
258. It runs through 2029, and he's already 29 years old.
Okay. All right.
God, is he 29 already? He'll be 29. Okay, I understand what that's doing now.
Okay.
It's pushing everybody to what they will be at the start of next year.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because he's 28 and his birthday's May 21st.
Okay. All right. So Jaden Daniels is your $500 million quarterback.
That'll be the next one, yeah. Because I think Stroud will be the next really uncomfortable conversation, and Jaden will be the next one where we go, hey, can we do that yet? Because we really would like to just have this done because he's a dog.
Right. Joe Burrow.
Joe's already gotten his.
Did he get that much?
His didn't run that long. Joe got 275. And it runs to 2029 as well.
Okay. And he also is 30 years old. No, he's what, 27?
I think Joe and Josh Allen are pretty close to the same age.
That would make sense.
Yes.
With the transfer
Joe
year.
turned 28 on December 10th.
Okay. So he's a year behind him.
Yeah, but from there, yeah. You got a lot of Gnarls Barkley ones here of, well, we already paid Trevor Lawrence, but man, I wish we hadn't. And that quarterback class was a great big grumper, followed by Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis and that.
I don't think it's going to be Bo Nix.
Oh, I can't wait for that deal. What should the Broncos give Bo Nix? Probably 31% of what they're going to give him.
Jaden Daniels is not a bad selection. He is the latest, greatest rookie quarterback we've ever seen. Of course, I feel like we have one of these come about every few years. I mean, hell, CJ just did his last year. So we'll see what year 2 looks like for Jaden Daniels.
I think it's going to be pretty strong. Ben Whitley said he just started Landman today, and he's curious how Allie Larder is hotter now than ever.
Because God is good.
And still the least attractive woman on that show, which is –
That's not true.
That's 100% true.
That's not true.
Don't make me call science on you, because I will.
What? She is much hotter than all of those women in the nursing home. All of them.
Oh Lord, we're going in. I meant
you meant
into
of the main
full-on
characters.
cast.
I get it. Of the main characters, yes. I understand.
The lawyer. Wowzers.
Jeremy's very impressed with her litigation skills.
For sure. She's a great debater. A master, you might say. We have another super chat from Soaring Eagle.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
I love when things like that just work out so perfectly. I didn't do anything wrong. Somebody's mad, but I didn't do anything wrong. Soaring Eagle, I don't know if we already did this, but I'm going to do what Jeremy said he wanted to do on Friday. Steve Sarkisian equals James Franklin. I think that's a really soft transition into our daily draft.
Yep.
Because my opener, and I'll take the first pick because I said I was going to do this.
Okay.
My opener is stock down Steve Sarkisian. What exactly would you say that was from the 1 yard line? That turned into let's let a 5-year-old playing Madden call the plays down here. We're gonna go option pitch sweep against the fastest defense we played, and then drop back Quinn and let Jack Sawyer just go, that's my ball, and I'm gonna take it and go that way. And then him and Quinn yucking it up afterwards. That's just a really bad look. I get it. You were roommates together at Ohio State. I don't care. It's not good.
I don't care. You don't get to say hello to each other.
No,
afterwards.
you can say hello. The fact you're sitting there and like cutting up and laughing and nah, dog, that's not what I want to see. I want to see my quarterback angry.
Yeah, killing himself.
Yeah, well, no, I don't want that.
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it like literally. I mean just you're so distraught. You're beating yourself up over losing this game. I can fully agree with that. I don't want to see him over there just being jovial with the team that just kicked your keister.
Well, they didn't really kick your keister. You were going in to tie it, and then you weren't.
Yeah.
There was no keister kick in there. I don't care what the final score was. I watched every second of that game. It was very close, and Steve Sarkisian, it's on you.
Yep.
And you're going to go into next year with a whole lot of questions on you, and they're all earned. And if you don't turn Arch Manning into an elite quarterback prospect, may God have mercy on your soul, because there are a lot of us sitting here going, this would be hard to screw up.
Yeah.
Whether that's true or not, because you saw him play against UTSA and a bunch of nobodies, and it looks like he's just going to take over the reins and lead Texas to a national title. That might not be true.
Yep.
Have we ever entertained the thought that what he would be if he was not last name Manning? Throwing that out there. Asked that question about Eli a long time ago. Everybody said, oh, you're stupid. Well, minus the 2 Super Bowls. The other 14 years of his career, I was 100% right.
Well, since you'll go stock down for Steve Sarkisian, then, I mean, I feel like I have to go stock down for the other loser of the college football playoff semifinal, and that's James Franklin.
He wasn't even in my top 10.
Which is weird to me.
Because I'm not surprised.
Because you're just so used to him losing
I'm not
the
surprised.
big game.
I'm not surprised in any way.
It's not that it's surprising. It's that it's just further proof. It's just further proof. You had a chance to kind of try to prove that you belong, that you could be in the conversation with the elite coaches, but you can't be. You're a really good coach, and you'll forever be stuck in that spot. And Penn State has to start looking at you like Pittsburgh has to start looking at Mike Tomlin.
I have a question about James Franklin, and I want to see if you can give me something that takes me off this track.
Okay.
I've always said that there are certain actors that it doesn't matter what role they always play the same guy. Christopher Walken is the same person in every movie he plays.
Yes.
He's always the kooky, eccentric guy. Whether he was supposed to be or not, it doesn't matter because that's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that where James Franklin coaches actually matters. I think he would be the same guy no matter where he was. Right on the periphery of the college football playoff. And I'm talking from Vanderbilt to Florida State to Penn State to Clemson. I don't think it matters. I think that's who you are. You are such a good coach that you can get the most out of all of these guys. You can recruit at a pretty high level, but not quite that highest level. You're not getting top 5 classes, you're getting top 10. And so you're always going to be that team that's right on the periphery, and it doesn't matter where you are. The problem for him is that he's at a place that expects to be better than that. And that's what's going to burn him. And he'll get fired at Penn State, and he'll get another job, and he will take some mediocre program. For some reason in my head, I have one of the Texases.
Okay, like a
Tech,
TCU,
A&M, Baylor, one of those. And he will take them to higher heights than they have ever been to before. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
I don't think you're wrong.
I think that's who he is.
I don't think you're wrong.
I think you're one of the 6 best coaches in the country. The problem is that you can't recruit at that highest of high side, and that's going to always preclude you from beating the Notre Dame in this situation.
Yep.
Because you just don't have enough guys.
Yep.
Great guys. Abdul Carter, Tyler Warren, Nick Singleton, Drew Aller, but you just don't have enough of them.
But how long is that leash?
I don't know. I'm shocked we're not talking about it already, but, you just got to a semifinal, and that's the closest Penn State's been pretty much in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm. I am going to go. You know what? I don't even. I'm going Baltimore Ravens. I'm going stock up for the Baltimore Ravens because, look, I get you beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's not a great achievement, right? Steelers, we've been over this already once in the program that they lose in the playoffs. So the fact that you are right, the fact that you beat them, not the greatest achievement. However, watching that team and watching the offense work against them, and just the fact that I was so convinced, right? Like I had worked myself up into the excuse of how is Baltimore going to lose this game of, well, you don't have the weapons, right? And it just doesn't matter. Right? We were watching that game the other day, and it just doesn't matter. As long as you have Lamar Jackson, as long as you have Derrick Henry out here bowling people over, and you can run for 300 yards on a team collectively, the Baltimore Ravens, the confidence I have in the Baltimore Ravens went up this weekend, despite the fact that they didn't really have a win that should be considered a big one. And next.
I can't believe you didn't already take this. Jaden Daniels stuck up. That team is the roster 2 to 53 is not a Final 8 team in the NFL. They're just not. And they're really the only team left that I can say that about. And I started thinking about this last night as I was watching that game. And it doesn't really matter who wins tonight, whether it's the Rams or the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the 8 remaining, all of them make sense in the grander scheme of things. They all belong based on how good the rosters are, how good the front office is, how good the coaching staff is. And then you come to Washington and just go, you don't really fit because you have a lot of guys that are playing snaps that don't make a whole lot of sense, but, man, you're getting the most out of them. And I almost said Dan Quinn here, but I don't think it's as big a stock up for Dan as it is for Jaden Daniels because I feel like he's putting himself in rarefied air. And I understand we just did this a year ago with CJ Stroud, and don't worry, you're not going to have to wait a real long time for me to say his name either. You're getting into that rarefied air of you might be the elite of the elite because you're already this good and you don't really have a lot. If you look at the guys that he was relying on last night, De'Ami Brown, who I guarantee you at least 40% of people watching that game went, I totally forgot he played for the Commanders. Olamide Zaccheaus and Zach Ertz and Brian Robinson Jr., none of these guys are stars. You have one star, it's Terry McLaurin. Your defense really doesn't have a star. Maybe Bobby Wagner, but he's an old star.
Yes.
Marshawn Lattimore, he didn't play like a star last night.
No, most definitely not.
They're doing this way ahead of schedule. And I can tie so much of it right back to Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
And you go to all the way back to Arizona State, how he left there, and you had so much. I mean, I could tell you stories about that for the next hour of how ugly of a breakup that was. And then he goes to LSU, and the ASU guys are throwing his stuff out of the locker room. And he wasn't that good anyway. And now he's here. That's a perseverance story for the ages. And it couldn't happen to a better kid. When we met him at the draft, just even being in the same room as him, you looked at that kid and went, that kid's special. That kid's special. There's something different about the way you carry yourself, the way you talk to people, the way you interact with people. He's just different. And I think he's an absolute star.
Yep. We got another super chat.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
That's from Jonathan Welch. He said, much love, fellas. Lots happening in 2025. Looking forward to all of it. Watching you guys grow into your own personal version of the Pat Mack Show is awesomeness.
Thank you.
We have steered more into the, hey, if they can say that, we can say this. Master of his own domain.
Yes, indeed.
But we appreciate you,
we do.
Jonathan Welch.
We do. We appreciate all of the support here for our crazy little venture.
He's an original shoji. We should have shirts made that say that. I've said that for 2 years. I should probably get on that.
Your Daily Draft, as always, brought to you by our good friends over at Dale's Pale Ale. We will continue the Daily Draft, stock up, stock down, from the weekend football next.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We're here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4victims.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Right now, during Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic. Plus, get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you get tired of freezing your can at the tailgate, maybe it's time to ring in a new season. Tailgating season. Wherever you are, whatever the forecast, with good old ale, it's the perfect way to kick off game day. From Red Cup revelry to just kicking it solo, you can't go wrong with Dale's Pale Ale, Dale's Light Lager, and Dale's Easy IPA. Honest ingredients, no BS. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you at the Tailgate.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumping a bag of hammers.
Oh my, we are back in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. A happy Overreaction Monday to all. We got one more game coming up tonight, so we'll get to the breakdown of that game coming up in just a little bit.
Sammy D, MVP. I don't have a good feeling, and it's gotten worse over the weekend.
We'll get more on that in just a few, but we got to wrap up the daily draft, stock up, stock down from the week in football, brought to you by our good friends at Dale's Pale Ale. Jeremy, so far you've gone Sark was the overall loser of the weekend for you. And then Jaden Daniels stock up for his performance in the playoff game against the Bucs last night.
And now I will go stock down Jalen Hurts. You are the definition of the jock that just didn't do squat for the project. You showed up when you turned it in and signed your name on it. Because good Lord have mercy, he was awful yesterday. Awful. If Green Bay was even competent, the fact that he was so bad would have been enough to beat you. And now I look at you get Minnesota or L.A. in Philadelphia next week. Those teams can beat you. Mm-hmm. Green Bay couldn't beat you. Those two can beat you. And I just – everything about Philadelphia bothers me. I don't physically believe a team that's led that poorly can win. I mean, you got a receiver reading a book on the sideline. Mm-hmm. Do you realize how hard we would have railed on any other team? Like if just put that on the other sideline. Dontavian Wicks is over there reading The Art of War. We would have crucified Matt LaFleur for an hour. With Nick Sirianni, we're not even surprised. Mm-mm. We're not even surprised. Because this is the kind of circus that you have brought here, where you're screaming at fans and just you're a train wreck. And I physically don't believe that can win in this league. I don't. Mm-hmm. And it's sad because from 2 to 53, that might be the best roster I've ever seen. In terms of what they've been able to put together, that might be the best roster I've ever seen.
Yep.
But I don't fear you. I really don't. If I'm the Lions, I'm looking at Philadelphia going, bring it. Bring it. I really wanted to say stock down Nick Sirianni there, and if you don't do it, I probably will. But how in the world do you get away from Saquon Barkley for extended periods of time? Mm-hmm. I got it when it was Kenny Gainwell and DeAndre Swift. I don't get it now. Dropping back. How many 3-and-outs in a row did they have yesterday? Letting Jalen Hurts throw it 3 times. Stop that.
Yes.
And that god-awful, we're going to throw it instead of run the touche-push. Just, you annoy me.
Since you led me down that path, I will happily take Nick Sirianni as a stock down from the weekend, because it's just again every week it seems like you have some new excuse as to or some other example, not excuse. It's an example of poor leadership. It's an example of, I have one of the most talented teams ever assembled, and they're doing this without me. It's how it feels most of the time. Yesterday should have been an absolute bloodletting. And yes. It was to the eyeballs.
Yes.
If you actually watch that game, then you know the 22-10 final score was
not indicative.
Exactly. It was not indicative of a close ball game. This game was never in reach. And the fact that it was even questionable, right? The fact that Green Bay had the ball in the fourth quarter to be able to cut this into a one-score game. Or, hell, they were only down 8 at one point, weren't they? Had a chance with a 2-point conversion, could have tied the damn game at one point. Mm-hmm. That's how inept you are as a coach, that you just can't get out of your own way.
It's infuriating, and I know it's going to bite you. My question is when.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
I can't believe we haven't done this just on basic principle.
Jordan Love
yet. No, it's stock up for Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I mean,
I almost took Marcus Freeman.
Just the money alone that you have accumulated now with making it to the college football playoff championship game.
$20 million.
$20 million. They get to keep all of it because they're an independent. And, yes, I mean, Marcus Freeman is wrapped into this because I didn't think you could get here.
Oh, that's a nice segue into we've already talked about we're going to do the AFC and NFC team comparisons one day this week.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever day that is, we'll also do a segment on college football, and a little birdie told me something, and it directly relates to Notre Dame.
Interesting. Okay. But I'll go stock up for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish because now they carry the hopes of all of America, other than Ohio, with them. Because this is a national championship that I feel like now we do have an enemy.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like now we do have an enemy.
For
now
sure.
that we know it's Ohio State and Notre Dame, it immediately shifted to, okay, now we have a clear favorite amongst the hearts of sports fans. Everybody wants to see touchdown Jesus win.
For sure. 49 states are rooting for Notre Dame, and Ohio and J.D. Vance are buck nuts. They have a pot leaf on their helmet. And then
it's your pick.
You only made one.
No, I took Sirianni.
Oh, somehow I completely missed that.
No, you led me down the path, so I will take Sirianni.
Okay. I will go stock down Jordan Love for all of the reasons that I've already detailed, which is I'm not quite ready to issue the arrest warrant for highway robbery, but you're getting awfully close. And then I can only take one more. I don't want to do this, but I think I have to.
Okay.
I'm going to go stock up Ryan Day. You did what we didn't think you could.
I did.
You didn't make it easy, but Texas shut down Jeremiah Smith, and you still found a way to win. And I almost feel like I should get in parentheses here, Jack Sawyer. The only thing I'm really mad about is he was going to be the captain of the Amon-Ra St. Brown defense this year because I have a first-round grade on him, and I don't think I've seen anybody else that does.
Okay.
And now you've all seen it because he's real, real good. Everybody talks about JTT. Jack Sawyer's the one. That's the one I want. And he has Detroit Lion written all over him.
And he'll be the one that they grab at the end of the first round that nobody else has on the radar for a first-round pick.
No, Jack Sawyer will be a first-round pick. If he's not, he'll be a first 5 picks in the second round. He has been an animal in these playoffs. I always hate – that's the bad thing about the way that we put out draft stuff is that we do have an ESPN show that we have to talk about events of the day. So I can't just be sitting here putting out, hey, this is a guy that I really love over the course of the season. Jack Sawyer has been circled in my notebook for probably 3 months of that's a dude that I will die on the hill for. That's the guy that I'm going to lock the door in the war room of we're taking him or I'm setting it on fire. Your call. Already got the paper wadded up in the trash can. All I got to do is throw one Zippo over there, and we're all toast.
Yep.
Because I love him. I absolutely love him. I think he is as good. I think he's as good of a pass rusher as we have in this class, and he's good against the run too. And that's very, very, very rare.
Yep. All right, my final 2 selections here. I'm going to go from the same game. I'm going stock up for the Houston Texans. Stock down for Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. Houston Texans defense, you bring that defense against the Kansas City Chiefs, it's obviously not going to be easy for Kansas City to get past that. Patrick Mahomes has thrown double-digit interceptions this year. If you can still ball hawk it again next week against Kansas City, you might have a chance to pull off the upset. I didn't think you had much of a chance to pull off the win this week. But you did. You took care of business. The defense was really good. Justin Herbert threw it to you, and some of them tipped it right into your hands on some of those interceptions. But the other side of that being, this was not the moment that Chargers fans wanted to see from Justin Herbert. Obviously, a 4-interception performance from your quarterback is never something that you want to see in the playoffs. The fact that you couldn't move the ball, you couldn't run the ball, you have Ladd McConkey and nothing else on this team when that's not working.
Yeah,
and you're not going anywhere until you add some weapons to this squad. So, stock up for the Houston Texans, and I'll go stock down for the Chargers.
That means I've got one more pick.
Yes.
I will go stock down to where it should be for Sean Payton and Bo Nix.
Okay.
I will say it as I said it on social media. We tried to tell you this was coming. Some of you fought us with both hands. And so now I'm just going to look at you and go, I tried my best to tell you. This was not hard to figure out. You're not even bringing a knife to a gunfight. You're bringing a spork to a gunfight.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even belong on these fields. And it's super obvious. I don't know a way to fix that. I don't think there is a way to fix that. The NFL is so fair in its scheduling because it's the only sport where everybody doesn't play everybody every single year. There's no way to legislate this. Bad teams are going to play teams that were bad the previous year. Sometimes bad teams are not bad year over year. Some years they are. This year, the AFC West played the NFC South, and that was 4 of your 10 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, those teams are terrible. All of them. They're just different levels of terrible. And you didn't really have much of a signature win. And I kept going back to that Baltimore game of, I've already seen this. You can tell me, oh, well, we almost beat Kansas City. Everybody almost beats Kansas City, but they don't. Baltimore beat your brains out and showed me exactly who you were. And when somebody shows you who they are, you should probably listen.
Yeah. Hats off.
A lot of people didn't.
Hats off, by the way, to the Buffalo Bills. I've never seen a team control the ball for 42 minutes in a playoff
10th highest time of possession for a playoff team in NFL history.
It's craziness.
They were within less than 2 minutes of the record. New England has the record. I think it was against Houston, Cincinnati.
Okay.
It was somebody in the AFC playoffs. It wasn't in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They had it almost 44 full minutes.
It was most definitely against Marvin Lewis, I have a feeling.
It was in 2019.
Okay,
I don't remember who they
Lewis.
played.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Who's going on to face the Philadelphia Eagles next week? Monday Night Football. We'll talk about it up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After a dry start to this week, some showers may move in heading from Friday night and to the start of the weekend. In the meantime, a clearing trend will take place this afternoon with a high of 43 and then turning cloudy overnight and breezy with a low down to 18. Behind a cold front on Tuesday, some sunshine with gusty winds at times out of the northwest at a high near 39. Partly cloudy tomorrow night as the low dips into the mid to upper teens. And the outlook for Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 36. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Score deep discounts and deeper sleep during Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance. Take up to 60% off select mattresses and more. Plus, get a free adjustable base on qualifying purchases. Shop today for free and fast delivery. Restrictions apply.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
At Haywood Regional Medical Center, your health means everything. In an emergency, every minute matters. Get to the hospital and get the care that you need as soon as possible. Haywood Regional's emergency department provides quality care, including advanced heart care at their accredited chest pain center. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your health is nothing to wait for. For more information and to check average ER wait times, visit myhaywoodregional.com. That's myhaywoodregional.com.
Are you displaced from your primary residence following Tropical Storm Helene? You may be eligible for moving and storage assistance for essential property. For more information, call 800-621-FEMA. That's 800-621-3362.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford, Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community Heroes, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Like Daniel, a veteran, who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Back in the Sportsocracy, and it's time for the most important message of the day, Jeremy Green.
Don't do crimes!
And let's go to Charleston, South Carolina, my former home, my home away from home. And
it's a great city.
According to WCIV-TV, 41-year-old Richard Anthony D'Amato, the pride of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, as it refers to him in the studio here. I'm not sure the mayor of Mount Pleasant's really going to be giving any commendations to Mr. D'Amato.
I wouldn't look for one.
After this little stunt that he pulled. So police in Mount Pleasant get a call, or police in Charleston. It doesn't say it was in Mount Pleasant. Anyway, there's a DUI call. Suspected drunk driver. They get to the scene, and they find D'Amato standing next to a Jeep Cherokee with a blown-out tire. Probably one that he busted hitting the side of the giant suspension bridge, which I have seen that happen in certain situations when one might be inebriated. You hit that big chunk on the bridge, and guess what? The tire of that vehicle is not going to survive. Much younger days, I made mistakes, okay? That's all we're saying.
Don't be like Tank.
Don't be like Tank.
Be like Jeremy. Don't do crimes.
It says the first sign that D'Amato's arrest would be interesting came when police asked that if he would be willing to perform a field sobriety test, and he simply replied to them, nah. Well, then that gets you put in the back of the squad car. And it got weirder from that point when apparently a belligerent D'Amato reportedly called an officer an idiot and then challenged him to a spelling bee. I'm not sure what he thought that was going to accomplish. Like, hey, maybe if I can spell, tricky words, then maybe they'll realize that I'm not as drunk and they'll let me go. I don't know what you would want to be trying to prove in that certain scenario. But he wasn't messing around with a spelling bee, because then he started to spell the word Britain, which I don't feel like is a hard word to spell.
I can't be drunk. I can spell what? W-A-T. I'll take my documents, please.
BRITAIAN.
I'll spell Britain. BEERRUN. Berun.
I don't feel like Britain is the gauntlet that you want to lay down, right? You want to prove something to somebody like anti-disestablishmentarianism. Now you spell that, and that'll prove you're.
I would have given him points for saying that, let alone spelling it. Anti-disciplinarianism.
At the jail, D'Amato continued to shout obscenities and racial slurs and even kicked an officer. He is charged with a bevy of charges.
Don't kick the constable. My story is about Lake County Sheriff Deputy Tristan McCumber. And that name is going to be incredibly ironic when I get to the end of this story. In November, he made a boo-boo. He was in traffic. A car in front of him stopped for a stopped school bus, and he said that his brakes locked up. He slammed into the back of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
That happens. I mean, personally, I've never had my brakes lock up, so people say that all the time, and I'm like, I feel like you're lying anytime I hear that. But okay, we'll do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do many sheriff's deputies wear at all times now?
Body cams.
Body cam. Yep, body cam makes it hard for you to get away with your tomfoolery and shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
So they check the body cam, and on the body cam, they see that just before the airbag deploys, they see him put his cell phone in the passenger seat. Then the airbag deploys. He gets out, checks on the vehicle that he just rammed into. And you can hear him in the body cam video say that his brakes locked up and I'm so sorry and insurance and all those things. Okay. Well, only problem is that the body camera doesn't stop when you just say, hey, you should look right here.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did go from the time he said, but then they backed it up just a few minutes and they realized that Mr. McCumber was trying to be the master of his own domain.
Oh, no.
Because he was looking at the pornography. Don't do that.
While he was driving.
While he was driving a police cruiser.
That's
looking at pornographic material when he slammed into the back of a car.
I'm no expert.
It was stopped for a stop. School bus.
I'm no expert, but I feel like that's hard to do.
It gets – see what you did there. It gets worse. It was his government-issued cell phone that he was – and that's a crime, too.
That is a crime.
You're not supposed to do that. So just boys, wait till you get home, okay? I get it. I almost said something so horrible right there. I'm going to say it in the chat. You talk?
Okay. Yikes. I don't understand where the brain goes to think that you can get away with things like this. You're wearing something that can incriminate you. How do you not know that it's on?
No clue. No clue. No clue.
You can turn it off for all those arrests, but you can't remember to turn it off when you're jerking the wheel. Jesus.
I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Just don't do it while you're driving. Just wait till you get home.
Oh, it is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
That would be an uncomfortable. We're going to need your badge and your gun, please.
Mm-hmm.
No. Don't hand them to me. Just put them on the desk. Purell, bro.
Don't know where those hands have been.
Yeah. Actually I do. I do, and that really makes me want to have this exchange way less.
All right, tonight, Monday Night Football, final game of the wild card round of the playoffs. The LA Rams, the 4 seed, the home team, not playing in the home stadium because of the wildfires. This one moved to Arizona against the number 5 seed, the Minnesota Vikings. You've said all day, Jeremy, on this mic and off it, that you don't have a good feeling about this for Sammy D MVP and the Minnesota Vikings. What makes you say that? What do you see in the Los Angeles Rams that doesn't give you a good feeling?
Well, what do I always ask?
Who's at home? Who's got the better quarterback? Who's got the better coach?
That's the one. Nobody's at home.
True.
But you're way closer to L.A. and Arizona than you are in Minnesota.
Yes.
I feel like Minnesota, with all of the unsettledness with the wildfires in L.A., there's a great chance that you're not going to get as much travel as you thought because they postponed this game, or they didn't postpone it. It's still the same time. They moved it so late that you may not get the turnout you were expecting. I also have it on good authority that the first shot at tickets was given to Cardinal and Rams season ticket holders. I don't know that this is not going to be a better home field advantage for the Rams in Arizona than it was in L.A.
Could quite possibly be. They don't have a great home field advantage in L.A. anyway.
The thing that scares me is this is Sam Darnold in a huge spot, and there's a lot of pressure. Because, look, as bad as he was against the Lions, that gives you pause for cause, especially when you drafted quarterback 10 last year. So you're heaping basically a career for Sam Darnold into this game. The problem is that virtually every time I've ever seen Sam Darnold in a real clutch pressure spot, he's come up small. Now, that's part of my fear. Then comes the other layer of what I'm worried about. I don't like the idea of Sean McVay basically getting 9 days to plot against Minnesota's defense. I think it's fine. I think it's grossly overrated. And good quarterbacks have not struggled with it to the level that bad ones have. Matthew Stafford's a good quarterback.
Yes, he is.
Matthew Stafford's a good quarterback who may be going into his final real run in the playoffs. And this just has experience beats talent because that Minnesota roster is more talented. I don't think that's even debatable. On the highest of high sides, yes, you have more stars in L.A., but I've got more talent in Minnesota. But I fall back onto which one of these quarterbacks is going to step up in the biggest moment. And I really trust Matthew Stafford. And even with my unabashed love, I still don't really trust Sam Darnold in this spot.
You can't.
And that's what's the more I've thought about it and the more I've marinated on it, Sean McVay knows Kevin O'Connell quite well. And I don't think you're going to see anything that really surprises him. I'll be honest with you. Every week I say there's always one game that there's one stat line that if I could see it, I feel pretty sure I can tell you how this game's going to go. What do you think that stat is in this game? Or what is it for you? Instead of asking you to read my mind, but I ask you what it is for you.
Rephrase?
A stat line that if I could see it right now, I'll tell you how this game ends.
Okay. I feel like if I can see, I'll go with Puka Nacua. And if
I think Puka's getting his. Puka's getting his, Justin Jefferson's getting his. There are two players, one on each team. Kyron Williams, Jordan Addison. If there's not a second receiver for Minnesota, you're doomed.
Okay.
You're going to have to beat them with somebody other than Justin Jefferson because they're going to bracket him all night long. So Jordan Addison's going to have to be able to beat one-on-one coverage. Jalen Naylor is one of my favorite plays of this week. We're down to the final game for the first week of the Battle for the Belt playoff spectacular. Great North Sports is leading it. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I have Jalen Naylor. I also have somebody else that he's one of the biggies in this game.
Oh.
If I could see Kyron Williams and Justin Jefferson or Jordan Addison, I pretty much know how this game's going to go.
Okay.
Because if either one of you get very one-dimensional, I don't like the chances of Minnesota being able to really run on L.A. anyway. But if you become one-dimensional and it's all Justin Jefferson, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because I've seen what happens when Sam Darnold starts trying to force-feed it to him. The best I've seen that Minnesota offense look. Jefferson is, I'm not going to say a decoy. He just takes so much of the offensive attention, and then it's basically a four-tiered read of Addison's the 1, T.J. Hawkinson coming across the middle's the 2, Jalen Naylor's the bailout, and then there's the dump off to the running back. That's the best I've seen Darnold look. Sometimes he gets so fixated on Justin Jefferson that it's to his detriment, just like it was last week against Detroit. He's trying to force feed the ball to Justin Jefferson, and it takes him back to some very bad habits. I don't feel great about tonight. That being said, every time I've doubted Minnesota, good things have happened. So one way or the other, a trend is going to stick, which is either I'm going to be really right about Minnesota or I'm going to be right that the Rams win.
Mm-hmm.
And, yes, that is me changing the pick.
I do like the Rams in the game tonight for all of the reasons that you just said. Better coach, better quarterback, all those things. I'm also a sucker for continuity. I'm also a sucker for trends. And the Minnesota Vikings lost 3 games in the regular season. They lost 2 to the Lions, and they lost 1 to the Los Angeles Rams.
The thing
I
will
lost
caution
them both, or could lose them both in back-to-back weeks.
The thing I will caution you about using the comp to that first Rams game, Christian Darrisaw got hurt in the first quarter of that game.
Mm-hmm.
They had to patchwork that line. That's when they went and got Cam Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
The line is not going to be – that's not going to be what beats you. The secondary for the Rams is going to have to step up. I don't think you're going to be able to just get to Sam as soon as the ball snapped the way you were the first time. That was an unexpected injury change.
Yep.
That's not an apples-to-apples comparison.
Yep.
The thing I will say is that the first game was really gross. Really gross. And I don't think this one will be.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We'll, of course, have the recap of all of it for you tomorrow right here on ESPN Asheville. We'll see you back here in the Ingalls studio at noon.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Kevin Hart here for DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We are here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4VICTIMS.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingalls Curbside. Just visit shop.ingalls-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingalls personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingalls. Low prices. Love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After a dry start to this week, some showers may move in heading from Friday night and to the start of the weekend. In the meantime, a clearing trend will take place this afternoon with a high of 43 and then turning cloudy overnight and breezy with a low down to 18. Behind a cold front on Tuesday, some sunshine with gusty winds at times out of the northwest at a high near 39. Partly cloudy tomorrow night as the low dips into the mid to upper teens. And the outlook for Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 36. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Apple Tree Superstore.
Hurry in now to Apple Tree Superstore for deals on the full lineup of 2024 Hondas, including the CR-V, the HR-V, and Civic. Apple Tree Superstore is committed to offering you professional service and a great experience. Shop online at appletreesuperstore.com and in person, I-26 and Airport Road, Asheville.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop. The all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket. And the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.